Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi out here, and it's Friday morning. We got an NBA in-season tournament game tonight at the Scotiabank Arena, and the big bright red court is going to be out there, making everybody feel all red, radiated with red. Yeah, the red in-season tournament court is going on the floor tonight at Scotiabank Arena for our third in-season tournament game against the Wizards. And ESPN matchup predictor has the Raptors rated to win 88.6% that they're going to win today. That's fantastic. In some ways, we don't want to take this team lightly. We're feeling real good. We got a 5-game win streak, won 9 out of our last 10. And, this is the time where complacency and, kind of getting too big for your britches can happen. But the Raptors aren't falling for this. They understand the assignment. They understand what it takes in this league to continue to win because they don't take games lightly. And that's going to be the thing tonight is, Wizards are 1-13. This is going to be the third time this season so far that the Raptors have gotten to face off with the worst Eastern Conference team. We got to do that with the Brooklyn Nets earlier this year. We got to do that with Pascal and the Pacers last week. And, well, this is the same situation. Those other two teams have won another game, and they're got 2 victories now. But the Wizards are still on 1 victory. So we can't take them lightly. Just like the Nets, just like the Pacers, these are wounded animals in a corner that are mad and scared because they're losing so much. And they can come out and try their damnedest to try and change things for them because they ain't got nothing to lose because they've been losing. So they're dangerous teams. And in some ways, we cannot take the Wizards lightly tonight. We have to be a professional basketball team. Come out there and in some ways show no mercy. That's really part of it right here. Is, the Wizards are 1-13. They've won once. The last time they won was October 24th, y'all. And the team that they beat was the Dallas Mavericks. So they have not won in almost a month. So that's got to be tough on their energy and how they're feeling. But you know what? We can't be that team that lets them feel good, especially when that court is so colorful and the jerseys are so nice. That's right. I bet we're wearing the City Edition jerseys again tonight on that court. That'll look nice. I think it'll look nice. All right, let's say hi and we'll get into the preview. We got the latest lineup news, the ref report, and I'm reacting to another great victory by the Raptors 905, 6-0, beating the Greensboro Swarm last night in a very scrappy, bloody game. Yeah, we'll go over that in a little bit. Y'all want to know the story about what happened with 905 last night? Yeah, we'll get to it. All right, let's get right into it. I'll do the comments soon, guys, but let me get right into the injury report right now. First, the Raptors are pretty clean for injuries. The only injury listed right now is Colin Murray-Boyles, and he will be out today for sure. His MCL is sprained. Now, it's not a tear, guys, which is much worse, or a break or anything like that. This is a sprain. And usually a sprain means, weeks instead of months. So this is a good thing. We'll just have to see when Colin is going to be ready to return to the lineup. But yes, our rookie is going to be out today once again. So we should see the regular Notorious Barbecue Yak show in the starting lineup as per usual. And yeah, Ochai Agbaji is not on the injury list. So just Colin listed for us. On the other side of things with the Wizards, they got Marvin Bagley III. Their backup center is doubtful for the game today. It's a right hip contusion. And also, their center, Sarr, is questionable for tonight. Also, Alex Sarr, the brother Olivier Sarr of the 905, has a toe injury, and he's questionable today. That's their 2 centers. That's not good for them. Oh, it's raining, y'all. It's going to start raining here in a second. That's not good for them. We got Pirtle. We got Sandro. And they ain't going to have 2 of their centers. Yikes, Wizards. This could be a very interesting game considering that. Maybe Scotty's going to be playing big boy basketball down there. But it's looking like both their centers are injured and maybe not playing. So who are the Wizards? We did see them in preseason, and we beat them. And they have C.J. McCollum starting at point guard right now, the veteran that's been around for a long, long time. The great Canadian-Swiss player, Keyshawn George, at shooting guard. Bilal Koulibaly of France is the small forward, and he is available at this point. He was not available against us in the preseason, but he is healthy right now. Chris Middleton, the Milwaukee Bucks vet and champion, is the power forward. And I guess I don't know who's going to start at center. Maybe they're going to be starting Tristan Vukovic. That might be who they start if there's no Bagley and no Star. We may be seeing their third center, Tristan Vukovic, the second-year player who was a two-way last year, coming into the center position. Also off the bench for the Wizards, Bub Carrington, Trey Johnson, Corey Kispert, Cam Whitmore, Malachi Brannon, Will Riley. Canadian Will Riley will be back in his hometown to be on the other side, on the other side of the court. So a couple Canadians on the Wizards team with George and Riley. Anthony Gill and Justin Champagne is on the bench there too. Old Justin, Raptors undrafted player from Scotty's class. He is still on the Wizards and still on the bench. Also, AJ Johnson, who was acquired from the Bucks last year, is on their bench also. So that's who the Wizards are. And like I said, they have lost 12 straight, guys. 12 straight games they've lost. They won their first game of the season. I know they won their second game of the season. They lost their first game of the season, won their second game against Dallas, and they have lost ever since. The Washington Wizards. Yeah, we don't want to be losing it down at all. All right, let me go ahead and go right into the refs, and we'll do that right now. The refs are interesting. They're not the worst, but they're not the best either. The replay center tonight will have Brandon Adair, Leon Wood, and Murat Kogat manning the station. I was wondering last night watching G League, do the replay center watch the G League games too? And do they help them with their challenges also? I wondered about that. They probably do. That would make sense. Why wouldn't the replay center be helping G League games also? I mean, how much work is there to do if there's only a few games? Maybe they should be watching G League also and WNBA. Yeah, I bet they do. Maybe they do. All right, here we go. Our crew chief tonight is the infamous, nefarious, and at one time very much a hated referee to the Raptors Nation, Mark Davis. Mark Davis, number 8, is a doppelganger of Vince Carter when you see him from behind. His experience is 28th season out of Chicago, Illinois. He likes the show The Wire. His favorite movie is Three Colors Pan-Africa. His favorite musician is John Coltrane. He likes the book Lonesome Dove. He'll eat some pancakes, y'all. So go on to Prince's house. His favorite app is Cisco AnyConnect. He most like to visit Venice. And his bucket list is to fly a helicopter along Chicago River, his hometown in Chicago. That's right. Among his other NBA assignments, Davis has officiated the NBA All-Star Game in 2014 in New Orleans and the 2020 All-Star Game in his hometown of Chicago. Yeah, Mark Davis is a nefarious ref with us because of a certain incident that happened in Sacramento 10 years ago. But, you know, he's been a pretty good ref to us for the most part since, very down the middle, because he's been kind of under a microscope. We did lose the first game he ref for us this year. So we are 0-1 this season so far with him. He refed one of those games against the Texas teams. Yeah, he was one of those games. I don't remember which one. So our record with Mark is 48% winning. But obviously, the Wizards have a way worse record with him, and they win 41%. So it's actually kind of close with Mark Davis, the crew chief, 48-41 for the Raptors compared to the Wizards. So, yeah, he may be the worst ref today still, guys. The second ref is the boy wonder. He's basically the Robin of the refs, and it's Andy Nagy. Andy Nagy is number 83 in his 6th season out of Toledo, Ohio. His favorite TV show is Seinfeld. He rocks out to some Metallica. I wonder if he likes Ride the Lightning, or does he like some of that crap that came out in the late 90s? I don't know. I'll test you, Andy Nagy. What kind of Metallica fan are you? Do you like And Justice for All and Master of Puppets and Kill 'Em All? Or do you like Saint Anger and the cover they did of Turn the Page and crap like that? I'll judge you for that. That tells me what kind of Metallica fan you are, Andy Nagy. If you're going to come and tell me you like that Trapped Under Ice song, I'll be like, yeah, respect. But if you're coming at me with some sort of Queen covers and other covers, no, I'm sorry. We ain't the same Metallica fan. I'm sorry. No. After the Black Album, Andy Nagy. After the Black Album, all downhill. Some kind of monster? Yeah, some kind of monstrous turn to your career, Metallica. That's right. Yeah. Anyway, his favorite meal is filet mignon. His favorite app is Spotify. He most like to visit the Maldives. His bucket list to get a hole-in-one in golf. We'll go to mini golf. You'll get one. And his hidden talent, he's a barbecue expert. So he's an expert on our guys, huh? So you know Barnes, Barrett, and quickly, Andy Nagy. All right, well, you better know when to call the fouls then when Barrett goes to the lane. How about that? How about that, Andy Nagy? You're a barbecue expert. You better understand that's when Emmanuel's going to stop and pop, and that's when Scotty's going to block. Yeah, barbecue expert. That's right. Andy Nagy has officiated 254 regular season games and one playoff game in 5 seasons as an NBA staff official. Nagy made his playoff debut as an NBA ref in the 2024-25 season when he worked Game 4 of the first round series between the Celtics and the Orlando Magic. Yeah, Andy's a pretty in the middle of the road ref for us, guys. In fact, we have a 500 record with him. We've won and lost the same amount of games. So 50% is the win percentage with Andy. And meanwhile, the Wizards are 35%. So 50 to 35 is the split for the boy wonder, Andy Nagy. All right. And the last ref is our Canadian friend from Edmonton, Matt Kallio. Matt Kallio's in his 4th season, number 53 out of Edmonton. And his favorite TV show is Game of Thrones. His favorite movie is Good Will Hunting. His favorite musician is Eric Clapton. His favorite book is Tuesdays with Maury. He likes to eat steak and asparagus. So it sounds like a filet mignon, a little steak and asparagus. You know, a lot of these refs are into the steak. A lot of these refs are steak lovers. They be making even some steaks. Take them to Ruth Christie or whatever. I don't know. Take them to Keg. Take them to Keg. Something like that. Favorite app is TripIt. He must like to visit Portugal, and his bucket list is Norwegian cruise. He wants to go on a Norwegian cruise. That's right. At NBA All-Star 2022 in Cleveland, Matt Kallio refereed the NBA G League Next Gen game and the NBA All-Star Celebrity Game with Robert Hussey, who is now also in his 4th season as an NBA staff official. Yeah, Matt Kallio has been a very good ref for the Raptors in the beginning, but he has slid since. And his record's kind of bad with us at this point. He has the worst record out of the 3 refs today. We lost the first game he ref for us this year, and it may have even been on the same crew with Mark Davis. I kind of remember that. Maybe it was like one of the Texas games where we lost one of those 3 games against the 3 Texas teams. And I think Matt Kallio was involved in that. So we're 0-1 with him this season so far. We win 43% of our games with Matt Kallio in his career. But this percentage for the Wizards is crazy, y'all. They only win 17% of their games, the Wizards, when Matt Kallio's present. So that's really bad. I think they've maybe won 1 game that he's ref for them in the 5 years he's been around. So 1.167 is the percentage actually. So 43 to 17 is the split with the 3rd ref for the Raptors. So, you know, it's the Wizards. They're a bad team. They've had bad records forever. Of course, we're going to have favor in the statistical records over time with the referees. So there's your ref report. Mark Davis, Andy Nagy, Matt Kallio. Woo-wee. Yeah, it could be worse, y'all. Mark Davis is down the line. In some ways, I trust him more now than I did back in the day. In some ways, you know, if the Raptors are so overwhelmingly more talented and better than the Wizards, we should have no problem tonight. Even if these guys turn on us and it becomes 8-on-5 all of a sudden again, we've shown a mettle and a power as a team and a roster to overcome the referees and our opponents in the last week. So if we have to get that way, well, it's the Wizards. They're 1-13. Even if we have to go 8 versus 5, we'll win anyway. I have confidence in us. That's right. All right, let's see what y'all are saying. Advice from Trevor J. Good morning, Commissioner Fund. What are you saying today, words of wisdom wise? People will come and go but in your life, but the person in the mirror will always be there forever. Be good to yourself. Yeah, okay, I like that. I like that. You know, when it gets down to it, if you know, it's just you. And that's who you got. Yeah. Yeah, that's tough, man. Be good to yourself. That's right. Be good to yourself with your self-talk and how you talk to yourself. And don't put yourself down. Build yourself up. Because if you're not going to do it, nobody will. That's what I say right there. Thank you, Trevor, for your words of wisdom. I appreciate you, sir. And I hope you're having a fantastic Friday so far. Yeah, happy game day. Let's get this one tonight. Yeah. You know, the winning is so nice right now. I mean, that song, all I do is win, 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 no matter what. This is true for the Raptors right now. I mean, this isn't facetious. This isn't false advertising. If we were singing this song, walking around wherever we are, whatever Raptor or Raptors 905 or any Raptors official right now, all I do is win, 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 no matter what. It's true because it's November and the Raptors are 14-1 in November. as a whole between the G League team and the regular team. 6-0 on that level, and 8-1 on the Raptors level. 14-1. Only one loss this whole entire month by any Raptors team. And what is it? It's November 21st. That's impressive, guys. And if we win tonight, it'll be our 15th win. 15-1. Yeah, and we'll also, this is the other thing. This is huge implications tonight with the Emiratis Cup. If we win tonight and Indiana loses, we got punched our ticket to Vegas, and it doesn't even matter what happens in the Indiana game next Wednesday. So if we win tonight and Indiana loses, I believe that's the stipulation that automatically qualifies the Toronto Raptors to be going to the tournament in Vegas, the in-season tournament, to go to the next part. And I love it. It's pretty inevitable we're going to either way. It's just whether we're going to clinch tonight or we're going to clinch on Wednesday. And like I said, it's not totally up to us. We can do our part and beat the Wizards tonight, but it's the Pacers have to lose also. And I guess they have to lose to the Cavs or the Hawks, whoever they're playing tonight. So we'll just have to see which one of those teams is playing them tonight. I didn't even look. I should probably look. Yeah. Trevor's saying this. We need to keep on winning so the NBA can't deny us an Raptors Christmas game. That's not how it works, though, Trevor. The Christmas games are already picked. They pick those Christmas games when they start building the schedule. And we're not going to have a Christmas game this year because we're not scheduled to have one. They don't change the schedule just because we're doing better right now. Are you saying that we should get one next year? Because that's when it would happen. But knowing them, even if we do well this year, it doesn't mean they're going to give us a Christmas game next year. The other thing is I don't aspire to get Christmas games. I don't give a shit about their Christmas games. This has been, in some ways, one of their weird-ass ways of trying to make people feel like they're lesser. Is, oh, you didn't get a Christmas game. Who gives a shit? Who wants to work on Christmas anyway? You're sending these guys out there to play on Christmas like it's a privilege or an honor. Why? It's just another day. You're taking them away from their kids and their families and being able to sit at home and watch sports like football instead and eat some food and stuff like that. The prestige around the Christmas games is stupid. It always has been. It's one of the dumbest gatekeeping things the NBA has done in like the history of it. Everybody makes such a big deal out of it. It's like so you can be a snob. Oh, your team doesn't play on Christmas. It must suck. It's all bullshit. It's absolute horse crap. I have no aspiration to play on Christmas. I don't give a shit. I'd much rather our players sit at home and be with their families on Christmas Day and get to spend the time with their families and not have to work on Christmas Day. So, yeah, I'm the opposite on this. I don't give a shit if they ever give us a Christmas Day game ever again because I'd like Scotty to be able to be with his mom on Christmas. They're not going to do this, though. They won't. If they give us a Christmas Day game next year, that'd be great. But I'm not holding my breath. And to me, it ain't got nothing to do with whether we're good or not or what we are in the NBA, the Christmas games. In some ways, this is some crazy ass shit that society does where people have to do things to make themselves feel better. Like, oh, I had to go get a better car than you because I live next door to you and I'm judging how better I'm doing than you. So I have to go get a better car than you. It's a shallow person that needs to do that. Just like it's a shallow person that feels good because their team plays on Christmas, like they're better than anybody. The Celtics will be playing on Christmas this year, right? The Celtics will be playing on Christmas this year. Do you think that they're a better team than us this year? That doesn't gauge jack shit if you play on Christmas or not. In some ways, it's, what Christmas is? It's a marketing thing for them and how they want to promote the Golden Boy teams, the teams that you can tell who they care about by who they put on Christmas, especially if they have a shitty record like the Lakers. The Lakers could have a losing record for 10 years and they'll still put them on at Christmas, Trevor. So what does Christmas mean? Nothing. Doesn't mean jack shit. So it's like, I don't know why we care about this. That's how I feel about it anyway. I'd rather the guys get time with their family. And hey, we're Canadian. We'll play on Boxing Day. That's what they tell us. Go play on Boxing Day, Canadians. Since Boxing Day is your holiday. Well, okay, we'll play on Boxing Day. And we'll let our players be at home on Christmas. That's the way I feel about it. They ain't going to give us a Christmas game this year. The schedule's already made. If they give us one next year, I'll be annoyed, honestly. Because you know what? The other reason why I don't like Christmas games for us is because they usually make it a trap game for us to lose. Like they did the last time they gave us a Christmas game. They gave us a Christmas game at noon on Christmas Day against the Celtics in Boston, and they railroaded us to a loss. And I had to sit there all day on Christmas feeling the feelings after a Raptors loss to the Celtics. And it's early in the day. So it's not like I watched the game at night and went to bed and didn't have to feel it anymore. No, I had to go eat Christmas dinner and feel the loss against the Celtics for the whole fucking rest of the day. So fuck the Christmas Day games. That's how I say about this. And you all know what I'm talking about when you remember that Christmas Day game and how it ruined Christmas that year. So no, we don't need no Christmas games. Trevor, sorry to go off on this, but I feel very strongly on this. I feel like this is one of the stupidest things in the NBA, that they make such a big deal out of Christmas Day games. It's one of the dumbest things. It's one of the most gatekeeping. I want to be better than you on a thing that's frivolous and stupid anyway, that isn't even important, honestly. That's what I say right there. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Trevor's saying 905, keep on winning, looking good out there. Yeah, I got my stars of the game, and I got the box score real quick on that. Guys, Elijah Martin is my star of the game last night. He had an amazing plus-minus last night. A plus 28 in the winning effort, 114 to 103 over Greensboro Swarm. There's still a perfect 6-0. They did something amazing last night because, listen, you play the same team 2 days in a row in their arena on the road. You get both those wins. That's a big deal. Usually 2-game series are a split because teams are pretty evenly matched. But no, the 905 took care of business. And not only did they beat a team the second time in a row in 2 days, they brought up their two ways for the second game. They didn't have them in the first game, the Charlotte Hornets, to send to the Swarm. They sent Drew Peterson and Reeves and their other two-way, KJ Simpson, to Greensboro yesterday to reinforce their team from the game before in the morning. So they had their 3 best G League players for their team, their two-ways, available last night. And they also made a trade yesterday afternoon between the 2 games where they traded Isaiah Moore or something like that to Mexico City. And they got a new big man in PJ Hall who was available for the game last night also. So Greensboro Swarm called in the reinforcements. They had their two-ways, and they had a brand new center in PJ Hall to play against us and try and beat us this time. The game was very, very scrappy. It was very physical. In fact, this game had an inordinate amount of fouls called in it. It was silly. It was crazy. The one ball ref just loved the sound of his whistle. He just kept whistling like a bird in a tree. He just kept whistling and whistling and whistling. Whistle, whistle, whistle. Over and over again. And a lot of the whistles were that offensive foul call that they're calling so much this year. The one with the pick, the moving pick, or just I've stuck my leg out and tripped you up a little bit, Jamal Shed, and you're on the ground, and the ref is calling offensive foul. I love that call when it's for the Raptors, for sure. But they were calling that a lot last night, a lot. And, well, there were a lot of foul shots and a lot of fouls in this game last night, a lot of fouls. But regardless, the 905 persevered. They were losing for a big chunk of the game again, and they took over in the second half once again near the end of the third quarter into the fourth, and handled and controlled the game throughout to the end and got this win. But Elijah Martin was a big part of it last night. He had 16 points in 36 minutes, a 5-9 shooting. He was 1 of 4 from 3. He hit all 3 of his free throws, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 turnovers, 3 steals, a plus 28. Like I said, a plus 28. He's just amazingly winning player last night. And the things I liked about Elijah last night was his shot when he's open is very confident. He's very, very good in the corners. If he is a corner 3, he's probably going to make it. The other thing is he's going to the basket more with strength. Now, his height is not good for him to make the NBA. I really do not feel like he's going to be a long-time NBA player, sadly. But he is a very talented, strong player, even at his height. And when he goes in the lane, he can finish against some taller players in certain situations. But it's tough to do. And he did some very cool athletic stuff last night. Too bad he didn't get that one dunk, though. Holy crap. My second star of the game for 905 versus Greensboro Swarm, 6-0 record last night, Jonathan Mobo. Jonathan had a weird game. You know, his time on 905 this year hasn't been totally smooth. But there really is kind of a weird development thing that's going on with Mobo on the down low while he's in Mississauga right now. And he's kind of developing in a parallel with Scott right now. There's a lot of things he's doing as his role on Coach Andrew Jones's team that is Scott's role. And it's crazy because at the end of the game, when it was close and it was crunch time, They gave the ball to Jonathan at the top of the key like he was Scott, and is kind of like make something happen. You're a creator. You're a big guy who has a vision, who can pass, and in some ways, you're also a pretty good offensive player. So I was like, yeah, all right, Scott. I mean, all right, Jonathan. This is the thing where you ask yourself, what would Scotty do? What would Scotty do right now? And Jonathan had a couple plays in the last couple minutes of the game where he had it at the top of the key and he called his own number. And he put really, really nice in the paint post moves on the swarm to get 2 baskets that absolutely helped us stay ahead and win the game last night. So, Jonathan Mobo, kudos to you for being a clutch player last night at the end of the game, hitting a couple big baskets that kept us ahead to get the win. And I see you out there playing the Scotty role on the G League level for the 905. Because he is. He's very much mirroring Scotty's role on that team. He's just kind of a Swiss Army knife that'll do whatever it takes on the court for the 905 to win, whether it's rebound, pass, steal, block, all of it. All of it. And it's awesome. He's kind of shying away more this year from taking threes. Like he took a lot more threes in his rookie year last year. And this year he's not taking as many threes. But I like his tenacity and I like how much energy he puts on the court in all the different ways he does. And once again, Jonathan and Scotty are working on the shadow box score. People do not get the stats, that all the things they're doing, because there's no tabulation of some of the activities that they do to help us win. And that's why I call it the shadow box score, because it's not a box score. You don't see those stats, but they're filling that shadow box score with the stats that you don't see tabulated, is what I'm saying right now. Jonathan in 25 minutes, 12 points, 6 of 11 from the field, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 turnover, a plus 17 in the game. Yeah, he's a leader on that squad, on that down low, on the down low. And in some ways, his spirit and energy mirrors his best friend, Scott. And that's what it is right there. My third star of the game for 905 and their victory last night is Juju Reese. Yeah, he's just been, you know what Julian Reese has been doing for 905 in the last couple weeks of their season that started, is he's an energy spark. That, there's often parts in the game where the other team is ahead or it's very close. And then all of a sudden, Andrew Jones puts Julian Reese in, and he's a difference maker. He's actually shifting the game into our favor, and we start winning when he's out there all of a sudden. I've noticed this. It happened again last night. It happened in the first game against Greensboro, too. Is basically he comes out there, and he's just a physical presence. He takes up space. He's very strong. He's not easy to push around, and he's just a difference maker. All of a sudden, he comes out there, and he's stopping people from scoring at the rim for the other team. All of a sudden, he comes out there and he's pulling down defensive rebounds and ending their possessions. All of a sudden, he comes out there and he's a deterrent and literally even blocking shots or just making people, I don't want to go that way. That guy's big. He'll put me on my ass. But yeah, Julian still got to clean up some of the dumb fouls and some of the rookie mistakes that everybody's going to make. But he looks really good, man. Like, seriously. Like, there's a lot of prospect in him, Bobby Webster, that he's a keeper. And he has a path, seriously, to come on to the Raptors. I can see it. As much as I don't know if Elijah Martin can be an NBA player, I think Julian Reese can, is what I'm saying right now. Seriously. Julian had 14 points in 25 minutes last night, 6 of 8 shooting. He made his only free throw, 6 rebounds also, 2 assists with 2 turnovers and a steal. He was a plus 16 in the game last night. Yeah, Juju Reese is a different maker. He makes things change in the game, and he starts bringing it to the winning side for the 905. I'm telling you right now, he's a spark. He's a spark. The 4th star is our great Badman from Brampton. Not a waste shoot. No. AJ Lawson going to be one of the stars of the game. It's just inevitable. It's just, where is he going to slot in? Where is he going to slot in, Lex? I mean, AJ, you just better pencil him in. He's one of the top 5 stars every single game for the 905. Yeah, in 37 minutes, AJ got 23 points. 8 of 20 shooting, 2 of 8 from the 3, 3 of 3 at the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, and 2 steals, a plus 8 for AJ Lawson. Yeah, I would have put him higher on the stars, but he didn't shoot as well. He was 8 of 20. And, the thing he does is so fun is he gets these steals on the other team and he runs it back and just, it's a layup and it's so fast. That is one of the most deflating things you can do to the other team. Is they think they're setting up, they're doing so great. It's just like the steal Grady got against Philly the other night, or I think it was Philly. It was either Philly or Charlotte. He got a steal this week where he got a dunk. Yeah. It's just such a hurtful feeling for the other team to get the ball stolen and then all of a sudden another easy 2 points up there. AJ does this all the time. He does it like 2 or 3 times a game. He's just running out and there's an easy layup and there's AJ just putting the ball in the basket. It's fun, man. This guy's an NBA player. In some ways, he's no business being in the G League, but the Raptors have to do it this way just to have, everything getting the most use as far as things. Like, we don't want to waste. In some ways, AJ can't play right now on the regular rosters because there's just so much health and we got so many different guys we're sorting through. But, he's going to get time and continue to develop down there. But his time's coming, and he's a bona fide NBA player. He could play in the NBA. In some ways, he's stashed right now. He's stashed. And, later on in the season, I feel like we're going to make some moves. We'll get another big man. Maybe we don't have as many 2s and 3s on our roster all of a sudden. And AJ's called up at the end of the year. And he's very prominent on the main roster going into the playoffs. And, because I could see AJ Lawson being on our playoff roster at the end of the year and helping us win in playoff games in the postseason. Yeah, I can see this. Bide your time, Brampton, and you'll be there. I know you will. I know you will. My 5th star for the game last night, the last star is Chucky. Chucky is the other two-way. And, he was an interesting game. Like, in some ways, I gave him his star because of his 6 assists with 0 turnovers. So he's playing point guard. He's playing exceptional defense. And the offense and shooting is hit or miss. It's hit or miss. It literally like a shot. In 30 minutes, Chucky got 10 points on 4 of 12 shooting, 2 of 7 from 3, 1 rebound, 6 assists, 0 turnovers, and a steal, a plus 16 for Chucky. It's solid. He's a leader out there. He's doing a lot of shadow box work too. But, in some ways I want him to still shoot better. So, yeah, those are my 5 stars of the game. We'll go through the rest of them. Olivier Sarr is so annoying and just frustrating to me. I was making jokes last night in the 905 chat that he's Jalen McDanielsing his life. Stop Jalen McDanielsing your life. Jaden McDaniels your life. Don't Jalen McDaniels your life. Jaden McDaniels your life. Because Olivier Sarr, you have a lot of physical gifts. You have a lot of talent. But man, oh man, do you have low basketball IQ. Boy, oh boy, are you just missing out on missed opportunities left and right around you because you just are not an aware person. And I hate it. I hate it because if I was his size and I had his body, I tell you what, I would be doing way more with it in a basketball world because in some ways there's just stuff he's just not getting. And it sucks, man. Olivier, 21 minutes, 9 points, 3 of 8 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3. He made his only free throw, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 turnovers, 1 block, a -5 in the game last night. Yeah, it's just tough. Also, Tyson Degenhart off the bench, hustling player, very scrappy player. We like Tyson. 20 minutes of play, 6 points, 3 of 7 shooting, missed both his threes, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 turnover, 1 steal, a -3 for Tyson. David Roddy, solid game. No, not really. He didn't score. 16 minutes, 0 points. He missed all his shots, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 turnovers, 2 steals. Yeah, not a sharp game for Roddy. He had one of his worst games for them so far in a block. Tyreek Key and Jarkel Joyner are my honorary mentions. Tyreek Key, 14 minutes, 9 points, 4 of 9 shooting, 1 of 3 from the field. And then Jarkel Joyner, 18 minutes, 15 points on 5 of 12 shooting, 1 of 4, 2 of 2 at the free throw line, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 turnover, and a -5. Jarkel was a good scoring spark off the bench for the 905 in this game. Going to the other side and looking at who did what for the Swarm, we had 22 points from the two-way Antonio Reeves, 19 points from the two-way KJ Simpson, and 18 points from the two-way Drew Peterson. So their 3 two-ways came in and scored most of their points and were their leading scorers. The box score with the team stats, Raptors 905 shot 44% to the 43% for the Swarm, and they've got way more shots than them. In fact, they got 23 more shot attempts in this game than the Swarm. That's a lot of hustling, stealing, and second chance shots to get 99 shots to their 76. That's a big deal, y'all. The threes, they won. 12 made threes to our 8. We were not shooting well from 3 last night. They didn't need to be taking so many. We were perfect at the free throw line, a perfect 10 of 10. Meanwhile, they were missing free throws badly, and they left a lot of points on the table. In fact, they could probably blame the reason why they lost this game on missed free throws. Seriously, the Swarm, they missed out on a lot of points because those free throws count for like 2 or 3 points the way they do it in G League. So every free throw miss absolutely crushed the chances of winning for the Swarm. And it was really, really bad. Out rebounded by them by 15. They actually out rebounded us 55-40, and they had 20 offensive rebounds. They had all the chances in the world to beat us. Once again, a signature calling card of the Raptors winning at both levels, the 905 and the Raptors, is their assist to turnover ratio. The 905 were 22 assists to 16 turnovers. Meanwhile, this is crazy. Listen to this. This is assist to turnover ratio for Greensboro last night. 16 assists with 33 turnovers. They actually doubled up their assist total on turnovers, being such a pest to them last night. 16 assists for the Swarm with 33 turnovers, guys. And the Raptors 905 scored 42 points of their points off the turnovers. Crazy. We also dominated them in the paint, 70-38 in points in the paint. Yeah, it's a really solid win once again for 905, and now they're 6-0. And honestly, I think this is the best record the 905's ever had starting a season. They're just running it. And you know what? Like I said in the chat last night, both the Raptors teams should be looking at playing in the tournaments in December. Both of them should be playing for something in December at mid-season. It's awesome, man. It's so awesome. Kaz is here. Good morning, Lex from Raptor Free Crew. Good morning to you, Trucker Kaz. It's Friday, man. TGIF. Let's go. Monique is here. The super fan, Monique Lawrence, official super fan, Monique Lawrence. How are you today, Mo? I hope you're going to the game tonight. I'm sure you are. Let's see what you have to say today. First cat here. Good morning, Raptor Free Crew. Take advantage of these winnable games. That's right. You know, I want to be on a 10-game winning streak when we face the New York Knicks at the end of this month. I want to be on a 10-game winning streak. The hardest game in those 5 games coming up is probably Cleveland next Monday. But we've beaten Cleveland twice already. And in some ways, this time we'll be at home. And God willing, we're healthy. We should have a good shot to take the 3rd game in a row against the Cavaliers this year, which is fantastic. So I'd love to be on a 10-game win streak when we show up to play the Knicks on the 30th of this month at the end of the month. Yeah, that'd be so awesome, man. That would be so awesome. That'd be so good. Kareem's saying this. Good morning, this is Kareem Thomas. I attribute all these Raptors' success to Eric Curry. He's trolling right here. And I will say this because Monique's going to say this too. I hate Eric Curry. Don't bring him up. Well, Eric is still a part of our coaching staff. In some ways, he's the challenge guy. He's the guy who looks at whether we should call a challenge or not. That's kind of what his main role is. But he's an analytics guy. Eric Curry's a useful person. I mean, he is an analytics dude that should have never been a head coach. That's just what it is, Mo. Like, the guy is absolutely a whiz with numbers, and he does really help our team in a lot of ways. And it's interesting that he's like one of the holdovers from the regimes before, Nick Nurse's coaching staff, that stayed with Darko. You know, Eric and Jim Sand did not have to continue with us, but Darko saw value in having them around, and they're still here. So, yeah, I don't know. Kareem, yeah, maybe some of the successes attributed a bit to Eric Curry, but I wouldn't say all of it. That's right. All the Raptors' success. No, you're crazy, man. You're crazy. Trevor J saying you figure out your background and your light. It looks nice. Yeah, it's a little bit better. You know, I think it's also like, Trevor, I have to adjust it to the light outside. Like, it's different outside. It's overcast one day. It's bright one day, you know. But in some ways, it's like, I don't know. It's just been a work in progress. It's just a kind of a different background for you guys to have. In some ways, I'm going to be switching to the wall again soon. And I'll go back to the wall I did last winter where I had the flag on the wall. You guys remember? I had the picture behind me for a while, but then I put the 905 flag behind me. So I'll probably be on that wall again soon. I don't know. I'm not totally sold on doing this. I mean, let's look at it. Is it nice today? It should be pretty nice. Yeah, there's no snow on the ground. That's always nice. You know, my bird feeder's hanging from the tree still. No, that poor tree out there, that spruce, that big, huge tree out there, we're going to cut it down next week. It's just, it blocks so much light in my yard. In some ways, I'm sad about it. I've been going to that tree out there and telling it it's time's coming. because in Native American, indigenous beliefs is if you are going to cut down a tree and use it for, you want to use it for building with lumber or house or something like that, you need to come to the spirit of the tree and warn it before you cut it down. And basically like embrace it, like hold it and say something like, your time's coming. I'd like to ask your spirit to escape and get out of here before we chop you down. So I've been having to talk to that spruce out there like that. It's like 100-foot tree. It's really, really tall. And it's looming over my place here. It's like right above it. And like, it's just I don't know. We just need to get more sunshine on the yard. We have so many forest trees in this yard that cutting the one out in the middle of the yard is going to have a huge impact. And it's only one tree that I'm taking down. But I'm still really sad about it. I don't feel right cutting trees down, guys. I just don't. They're living beings, and they have a lot more to them than we see. There's a lot more to them. And in some ways, they're the species that may save us from our own undoing. So we really should respect the trees, because the trees are the ones who are trying to save us, and we're the ones trying to kill ourselves. I really look at it that way. All right, let's keep going. Seymour here. Good to see the sheriff checking in from the Mountain Time. Yes, the background looks clean, crisp, and clear, like our vision for tonight. Let's go. I like that. What a nice tie-in. What a segue. Seymour, I want to tell you this, because you call me on the channel now with the 4 quarters segment. You have a natural gift for media. Seriously, you're like naturally segueing with that comment. And I find whenever you and I are doing our phone calls, we have a nice give and take that is really professional. I've done broadcast crews with different people over the years, and there's some people that are just really hard to do it with because they're just talking when, it's just awkward. You and I have a nice go back and forth when we do the calls, and I appreciate you for that. I think you have a natural media training, man. Seriously. I don't know if you took any school for broadcasting, but I think that you've got a natural timing and media training to this, because you're segueing right here. You're like, let's go with the vision tonight. It's going to be just as good as the vision out here. I love it. I love it, Seymour. I'm going to give you a dunk. I'm going to give you a dunk for that. Yeah, not just for that, but also just for the fantastic 4 quarters segment that has originated on this channel in the recent months. That's right. 258 for my friend Seymour Pape, holding it down out in the Mountain Time. 258. I wonder where's Kareem. Let's go look at Kareem real quick. 258 to, oh yeah, because it's going to be close. 258 to 260, y'all. Woo-wee! That is a Dominique Wilkins, Michael Jordan dunk contest right there. That's right. It's good, man. Yeah, Belt Boys. Yeah, let's go. Shaq Lindsay's here. Good to see Shaq Lindsay. Thank you for the support of the channel. How can organization be so bad? These lottery teams don't have any aspirations to get out of it. NBS needs to set a cap. The NBA needs to set a cap on teams selecting players in the lottery. This is the team that Jack Armstrong brings up when he's like, man, these teams should not be in the lottery every year. If they keep fumbling, how the hell do they keep getting these top players coming in? I mean, I like the system the way it is right now, because look, you need shitty teams like the Wizards to be around, because there's going to be shitty players coming in the draft every year. And, we don't want the Raptors to pick the duds, right? We need a dud teams out there also drafting with us, and they'll go pick the duds. And Bobby can do his homework and get the right people. In some ways, I don't mind them being perennially a lottery team. And I don't worry about them getting a good player every year, because that's just false worry. We've said this over and over again. We do not value the lottery and top high draft picks, because in some ways that is not the gateway to totally winning. It's not. In fact, if you're getting a lot of high lottery picks and draft picks, that probably means you're the Wizards and you're not doing anything with them. I mean, we could even make the argument that most of the teams that are in the lottery a lot do not get better very fast, even though they're in the lottery. Oklahoma City may be the exception. The one team out of all those teams that got a lot of lottery picks, like Utah, Charlotte, Washington, Brooklyn, all these teams, are they going to get better? I don't know. There's no guarantee. You could stack a whole bunch of lottery picks, just like Sam Presti in Oklahoma City. It doesn't mean you're going to go get championships. It just means you got a lot of high draft picks and a lot of chances to pick high caliber players, but you may fumble on all of them. And not only that, after that, this is the problem here. And this is what we're talking about, Shaq Lindsay. You could fumble your development once they get there. You could get really good players, but your team sucks with their coaches and their development, and they're spinning the wheels and not getting anywhere. And that's really the story for the Hornets and the Wizards right there. It's not that they don't draft good players. It's just that they don't know what to do with them once they get them and they go nowhere. And in some ways, it's a snake that eats its tail. Is it like, okay, we got to start winning somehow. How do we figure it out? Oh, we're just learning losing here in Washington. We're just learning losing here in Charlotte. It's hard to get the traction of winning again. It's really, really hard. And, especially where you have nowhere to go, where you don't know how to do it. And you're just kind of out there aimlessly doing what you're doing. So, I mean, that's a lot of it right there. These high lottery pick teams like the Clippers in the 80s, did they get anywhere with all the lottery draft picks they had? Danny Manning and Michael Oluwakandi and, Ken Norman and Danny Ferry. And, I mean, there were crazy draft picks for the Clippers all throughout the 80s into the 90s. And they didn't do jack shit with them. So that's why I say, like, anybody who's thinking, oh, Wizards are going to be good, they're eventually just going to be good because they have so much talent on their team. No, because it's still the Wizards. And at a certain point, the dead end ends at the road, and they just don't get anywhere further because in some ways they just don't have the personnel. They don't have the organization. They don't have the development. So, yeah, I mean, it's a weird thing. Everybody values draft lotteries so much. And I'm like, yeah, I don't. Even with Cooper Flagg, seeing what we're doing right now. Yeah, what was all that hype last year? Come on now. Seriously, you say he was going to come in and dominate the league? Well, what the fuck is he doing then in Dallas right now? Seriously. It just all goes to my point right here is what I'm saying. Great topic, though, Shaq Lindsay. I love it, man. Trevor's saying we have to win tonight and clinch our ticket to Vegas. That's right. Trevor went to Vegas earlier this year for Summer League, and he knows it's a badass place. Raptors were there. I'm sure they'd love to go back to Vegas. Yeah. These guys are all for one for all, win for all. These guys are tight. These dudes are in a vibe right now. You can tell from their social media. Let's go look at Instagram right now. It's crazy what they're doing right now. First of all, Toronto Tempo is still asking us questions about the mascot and the in-game experience. You guys can shape Toronto Tempo and what they're going to do in their arena if you fill out the surveys right now. They want to know what y'all want, and they will probably do it if it's a good idea. Seriously. There's a Teresa Resch. I believe that's Lily Singh she's with. I'm not sure. The Toronto Scepters are repping the Toronto Tempo right now. I guess they're just showing support for each other. Toronto Scepters, Toronto Tempo, Savannah Hamilton, and Ashley Dawkins, Cinderella Stories. They're a very lively bunch in their podcast recently, talking about the WNBA bargaining agreements and stuff like that, and all kinds of stuff going on in the sports world right now. It sounds like the WNBA Players Association does not think that the salary proposal with the 1.1 max million salary is addresses their concerns. They're not happy with the deal. So it sounds like they're not going to agree to this deal that we've heard about. And one of the things Savannah Hamilton wants to point out to everybody right now is, listen to this fact. Right now, the WNBA players get 9.3% of the league's revenue from the WNBA. Only 9.3%. NBA players get 49 to 51% of the revenue from the NBA. So let that sink in for a second. So if you're thinking about why are the WNBA players boycotting or wanting the new agreement, well, this is why. They only make less than 10% of the revenue, and the owners are taking the rest. So they damn for sure need to get half their share, just like the NBA players. So yeah, that's a part of it y'all need to hear right there. Yeah, so let's see what else is going on. She's talking about how the Bus brothers got fired from the Lakers yesterday. And some speculation that maybe the Bus brothers were the ones who are doing the gambling, but I don't think that's what it is. I think they're just the sons of the owner, Dr. Jerry, and they just want clean house. In fact, the other thing I found out is that the Bus brothers were two of the votes against selling the team to Mark Walter and the group that owns the Dodgers. So in some ways, that's why they got fired, because they voted against selling it to the guy who did eventually own it. And he's like, yeah, sorry, guys, you're out. But these brothers are like, my dad would never want us to not work for the Lakers. Dr. Jerry Buss was the Lakers. He was Showtime Lakers. And in some ways, the legacy of him, he wanted his sons to continue to work for them indefinitely. Well, that's not getting honored or respected in this situation. And I don't know if these boys are involved in the gambling allegations against the Lakers or not, But I know for damn for sure they're the sons of the former owner, and the new owner just fired them. That's what I seen right there. That's right. That's right. Let's see what else we got in the Instagram today. Yeah, apparently Sephora has become the first WNBA sponsor that is offering their sponsorship over to the NBA equivalent. So the Golden State Valkyries Sephora account is going to go and advertise with the Warriors account, apparently, is what they're saying. Kelly Olynyk is got a nice picture of him with Nickel Alexander-Walker. The Spurs just played the Hawks, and Team Canada guys are broing out together. My dog, Nickel. It's love to see the Team Canada love between Olynyk and Alexander Walker. That's right. That's awesome, man. Zach Edey is celebrating a Memphis victory over the Sacramento Kings, 137-96. Woo, it's bad in Sacramento. If it's like that, the Grizzlies are not that good, but I guess Zach is back and he's got that big attack. That's right, Zach Edey. Let's go. Hello, Jack Armstrong is putting on blast Eric Smith's We the Raptors book. Y'all go out and get this book. It's amazing. Available now at your bookstores, different places you can buy it. Don't buy it off that Amazon site, though. But yeah, go and buy We the Raptors, maybe from an independent bookstore if you can, or something like that. But yeah, go ahead and get it. It's a great gift for your Raptor fan in your life. That's right. Let's see what else we got. There's Eric on the news talking about his book. It looks like Breakfast. No, it's The Social. The Women of the Social. Eric on that show, The Social, in downtown Toronto, talking about his book, We the Raptors. Good stuff, Eric. Keep going, man. Coach Andrew Jones, very happy with his win for last night against the Greensboro Swarm with the 114-103 victory. Yeah, good job, guys. 2 road victories. That's very tough to do, what they did last night. Elijah Martin with the highlights from last night and his great game last night, the plus 28. So good, Elijah. So good. AJ Lawson with he's posted the results from last night. And apparently last night, this is one of the cool things that happened after the game with 905 last night. And Monique, you got to see this. Coach Brian Leftwich, or what is his name? Coach Leftwich, the assistant coach for the 905. He did a victory split after the game in the locker room last night. You can see it on AJ Lawson's Instagram stories. That dude has got a limber body to be able to jump right down and do a split like that with his legs. That's crazy, man. That is some crazy stuff. Man, you got to be flexible to do that. I would be scared to do that. That I'd be tearing something trying to do that. But yeah, left did it. Leftwich did it. It's crazy. The evidence is on AJ's Instagram. Y'all see it. Let's see. Slim Duck. This is crazy. I'm feeling for Chris Boucher right now. Because think about this. All right. Last season and the season before, there was a lot of weird benching at the end of the season. 50 games, all that bullshit on the Raptors. He doesn't come back to the Raptors. The Raptors don't want him. The Celtics want him. So he goes to the Celtics. He's on the Celtics. And the Celtics, he feels like, wow, we're going to be really good. It's the Celtics. Well, the Celtics suck. And the Celtics are a 500 team right now. And, well, he's seeing what's happening with us, right? 10-5. And, man, in some ways it's hurting him. It's hurting him in some ways. I know. In some ways I hate that. I wish Chris could have been part of this winning now with the Raptors right now. But yeah, he's posted something. He's saying, "Dear life, it's like you're hurting me." That's what he's saying. It's crazy. He's like outright saying it right there. So Chris is kind of a little bit crazy right now. I don't know if he really likes being on the Celtics too on the down low. I'm getting vibes that it's just not the same as Toronto, and in some ways, it's just not doing it right. In some ways, this is a weird foreign thing for him being on the Celtics. It doesn't feel right. And I don't think that it's there's something weird about him on the Celtics right now. And I think in some ways, seeing the success of the Raptors now is breaking his heart because he wishes he was involved in it. Seriously, because you got to think about it. He went through Tampa. He went through some of the deepest, darkest depths of the last 5 years with the Raptors. And now he's seeing them coming out from the other side of it now, and he's not there at this point. Man, I feel for Chris, man. Scotty's got a post by Manuel. Manuel's got great producers right now. They put a little highlight reel with really nice jazz music on it of Manny in the last few games, putting up shots and just living his life. And Scotty loves the vibe of it. I know he does. That's why he reposted it. Also, Jacoby's got a really cool picture of him hitting one of his threes against the Sixers the other night with a really smooth gospel song playing. And I know Scott loves that too. So he reposted that also. Really, really cool. Norman Powell's making waves for the Miami Heat right now. This man's going to be an all-star. And a lot of people are believing in the Heat because of Norman. He got some custom made Skechers made. They're pink that have they're honoring his women in his family. He's got like different symbols on the back of them, and it's just like a very cool pink Skechers that he's wearing in honor of his mom and his sisters. So yeah, check out Norman's shoes. If you see pink shoes on his feet, that's in honor of his mom. It's got his mom's favorite animal on it, the elephant. That's right. Yeah, let's see what else we got. 9:05. All the highlights from last night on their official account and the win. Serge Ibaka is still working out at Remy's, but he's also at a rave. It looks like he was DJing last night to a huge crowd. Wow. All right. Serge was out there doing the clubs with a bunch of people going crazy. That's interesting. Let's see what else. Their season opener for the Scepters is today. That's what Teresa Resch is posting right now. She's got the Toronto Scepters team on blast there. Yeah, that's it. That's the Instagram stories for today. Yeah, a lot of celebrating by the Raptors and the 905 right now because success is on our teams right now. It's amazing, man. It's so good. Yeah. Let's see. Mo's saying this. Lex, I think you're still too excited about the 905 game tip tournament to don't mean anything. Yes, it does. You don't understand what it means because we've never played in the tournament before, Monique. The tip tournament is a real tournament. It's just like the in-season tournament. We just never qualified to play in it in years before because we've sucked in the tip-off tournament. We often get a 500 record or even a losing record in this part of the season, so we've never been to it. Just like what the Raptors are about to do, the 905 are going to punch a ticket to Vegas also, and they're going to play in the tip-off tournament. And this is like a first championship of the season. The last 2 years, I think the Westchester Knicks have won this thing or something. I don't remember exactly. But this is just as prestigious as the in-season tournament. These games do matter and count for something, Monique, because if we win these games like we have been, all of a sudden we'll be in this tip-off tournament in the G League level, and we can be the tip-off tournament champions and the in-season tournament champions of the Raptors in Vegas too. So these don't mean anything. No, they do. You just don't think they don't mean anything because in the first few years of this tip-off tournament in the G League, we never made it. We've never, ever qualified or done this well to be able to go to it. So these games absolutely matter. These 6-0 start for Andrew Jones and them because we'll play, I think they're 12 games. We play the whole tip-off tournament slate before, and on a record, we qualify. We go and we play for the championship, the mid-season tournament championship for the G League. So these absolutely count. This isn't some glorified preseason we're playing right now. No, it isn't. This is absolutely regular season games for the G League. It's just the G League has 2 seasons. They have the tip-off tournament season and they have the regular season. And the tip-off tournament season counts towards the regular season record also, just so you know. It's just that they're split and they reset this record afterwards for who gets to go to the playoffs. But these games matter. Trust me, Monique. This is not glorified preseason they're playing right now. This is the tip-off tournament. And these games qualify to whether they get to play in a tournament to win, and they win money. It's just like the in-season tournament and what the Raptors are in, except for the G League. Yeah, these do mean something. They do mean something. They did mean something in the last few years because the Raptors 905 sucked in the beginning of the season. Eric Curry's seasons, oh, yeah, we were nowhere near the tip-off tournament when Eric Curry was our coach as much as you hated him. That's part of why I hated him too, is because we weren't going to the tip-off tournament. Well, Andrew Jones going to take us to the tip-off tournament. That's right. Let's go. Stargate saying this. The Raptors need to totally destroy this team, like give them a real beatdown. Yeah, I'm with you on that. No mercy. I'd like to see a rout. In some ways, the point differential does matter. So if you run up the score on them tonight, Darko, you are doing it because you have to, because this is the parameters of this competition. And that's not an ungentlemanly thing to do to Brian Keefe and the Wizards. Is what you're supposed to do. Because that's the rules. That's right. Seymour's saying this. LaMelo has asked Charlotte management to move him. Laugh out loud. Needle pusher, Lex? Not for us. I think Alvin Williams said it best. He came out with an interview that he filmed yesterday with Mike Roach on the Mike Roach show. Alvin Williams talked about LaMelo Ball. And he said that I think that this guy's a wash because he's not getting better. How many years has he been in the league? And he's just as goofy and not as good as he was as a rookie. In some ways, he's spinning his wheels on his development because his IQ is not clicking over. His acumen is not clicking over. So Alvin Williams thinks that he's a dead end. He said that straight up on Mike Roach show yesterday, saying that LaMelo Ball is such a disappointment. The guy should have gotten better and better in his career, but he's just stayed the same since the first year he came in the league. So, yeah, needle pusher, Is he even pushing his own career with a needle? Not somebody I'd want on my team. Nope. He, you know what? He'd go play for another team in the league. But anybody who's coming around in Raptors Nation saying, we need to get LaMelo. No, we don't. That is on a no-fly list to Toronto to be on the Raptors list on my book, is what I'm saying right there. Yeah, needle pusher? I know you're laughing about it. Seymour. Shaq Lindsay said the NBA is wasting talented young players to these bad organizations. Wizards have talent, but no talks about them because of their record. You know, it doesn't matter. I mean, they used to say shit like this about us when we were really bad. And like, you're like, oh, why are we wasting the talent up here? And they'd come and snatch people, just like Vince. That was like, no, Toronto shouldn't have him on that team. He's too good for them. And he needs to be shown in the States. That was part of the reason why we had to trade him with Rob Babcock, is because the United States thought Vince Carter was the biggest star in the NBA, and he shouldn't be wasted on the Canadian team. So this mentality is not good. Listen, your lot in life is what your lot in life is, right? If you get drafted to the Wizards, I'm sorry, bro. Do your best. But like we can't babysit these teams and make them better by telling them how to do things. It's a proprietary league where we're trying to have competition. And if they're just shitty because they can't get their shit together, well, that's just how they should be. And in some ways, we can't feel sorry for players that get drafted to them. This is just the way of the world. It's just the nature of things. And in some ways, I don't care. I know Jack Armstrong's argument is that these teams shouldn't be allowed to be in the lottery year after year, and I get that. But in some ways, that's the only system that works, in some ways, to try and help them get up. And in some ways, I don't care if they continue to get high-priced, high-profile, top draft picks if they ain't going nowhere. This doesn't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? So in some ways, I don't really think the system is broken. I think it is exactly as it should be, and so be it. It's the nature of things. So be it. I'm sorry, bro. You got drafted by the Hornets. Yeah, it's going to be like that. Sorry. It's just how it is. That's why in some ways people should be overjoyed when they get drafted by the Raptors. People should be very overjoyed. I could have got drafted by the Hornets or the Wizards. It's that simple right there. I mean, I understand you're worried about guys, individual guys. There's no luck in this world in some ways. Some ways it's just like it's the nature of things. It's just how it is. You get your hand that you're dealt. And you know what? You don't want to be in Washington. You don't want to be in Charlotte. Well, you figure it out with your agent and what you're going to do when you get the decisions to make the decisions. You know, that's just how it is. You know, you don't want players to get into this place where nobody wants to report to one team in the NBA because they just have that reputation. You know, Fiercely saying this. Good morning, fam, and happy Friday. No reason to lose tonight. Let's aim for Vegas, baby. That's right. Nice birthday tribute to Grady on the Raptors YouTube channel. Yeah, it's cool. They, you know, I'm like kind of upset with them, but I'm also kind of happy with them. It's so weird. Raptors YouTube, y'all have to give us more than 2 minutes of highlights. Once again, why are y'all doing this? Whoever made up the idea that we're only going to release 2-minute highlight clips of Raptors games on the official Raptors YouTube, stop doing that. Give us 5 minutes at least. I say you need to give us at least 5 minutes of highlights for each game. Giving us just 2 minutes of highlights is robbing us of a full scheme of the game, and it's absolutely, don't even do it if you're just going to put out 2-minute highlights. Seriously. Don't even fucking do it if you're going to do it that way, Raptors admin. Seriously. Don't even put highlights out if you're going to do that. It's a waste. It's an absolute waste. If you're putting effort in, you probably aren't, because you're probably doing this all with AI now, this bullshit of making these clips. It's not like y'all have a talented videographer or something, do you? Because at this point, I'm just going to guess it's some novice that doesn't know what they're doing, but they have an AI program that can make this shit. You know, that's part of the reason why they're coming out with a birthday highlight reel of Grady Dick, or this is Vince Carter's 50 game against the Allen Iverson Sixers in this game, or whatever. Because they probably have a program now that can go through the videography of all the Raptors clips and just make it themselves. And they're not even doing any of the fucking editing themselves. It's all AI done, probably. I'll bet you money that's how they're doing a lot of these clips, and how they can do them so fast that they may watch me in the morning and say, oh, Raptors Freak's talking about this subject. Maybe we can make a clip of all the longest shots in Raptors history. Let's go research this and make it. If y'all are doing it your own work, kudos to you. Thank you for your hard work. But if you're doing it through AI and other bullshit to make these clips, I don't really have a lot of respect for your artistry. I don't have a lot of respect for your skill. I think that anybody could do what you're doing then. So it's like 2-minute clips. Stop fucking doing this. If you're going to make the 2-minute clips of highlights from the game, stop doing that. And I understand the short interviews. For the last game against Philadelphia, we got 1:30 of Jacoby in an interview. We got under 2 minutes of RJ or something, and then under 2 minutes of Darko. How the hell we only get 6 minutes of post-game interviews for between 3 people? Stop doing this. Stop shorting us on this stuff. Is it like cheap or is it expensive for y'all to make a long clip? I make 2-hour shows every day. You can't fucking make a longer than 2-minute highlight reel for the Raptors games, Raptors and men on YouTube. I mean, seriously, I don't think I'm the only one upset about this. I think that a lot of Raptors fans are upset about this. And y'all, seriously, when you see this happen on the Raptors official YouTube channel, write in the comments. Tell them how unhappy you are that we're getting shorted for only 2 minutes of highlights. Seriously, I say that. You know, they're doing great things. It's great that they did a birthday tribute for Grady, but I have my gripe that I just went over just now. That's right. Seymour's saying this. The fact that John Wall is probably the best wizard of all time says it all. He's not. Trash organization. Raptors, when you're done taking out the trash, remember, wash your damn hands. I love it. I love it. The best Washington player in the history of their franchise is Wes Unseld. That's it. Wes Unseld. He is the greatest Bullet of all time. And the Bullets were the Wizards. And they're the same franchise. Wes Unseld was a center power forward in the 70s. And he won their only championship in the late 70s. And he is their best ever Wizard. And nobody will deny that in Washington. Every single person will agree with me. The greatest Wizard / Bullet ever is Wes Unseld. Not Wes Unseld Jr., Wes Unseld Sr. That's right. Kareem Thomas is saying this. Michael Jordan is the greatest Wizard. You can make a case for that. You can make a case the greatest player to ever play for the Washington franchise is Michael Jordan. You could probably make that case. It's just Wes Unseld's the champion for their team. He's the finals MVP. That's the thing there. Fiercey saying this. I'm at work and forgot my earphones. Great. Can't fully listen to the stream. There's a guy beside me and I can't pull it out. I put it on blast via my phone. Oh, that's all. I'm sorry about that, Fiercey. Hey, guys, sitting next to Marie. I hope you're having a great Friday. TGIF. And, she's a fantastic person. And I hope that you enjoy working with her. She's awesome. Yeah, and I hope you guys have a great weekend and watch some Raptors games. That's right. We playing tonight, Washington Wizards. That's right. Let's go. Trevor J saying this. Maxey had 54 points to get the Sixers to win last night. This is the crazy thing, man. The Sixers had a back-to-back. When they played us, we were the first night of the back-to-back, and we beat their ass in their home court. And then they went and played the Bucks the next night, and Maxey dropped a 54-piece, his career high, and they beat the Bucks. And I believe it was in overtime, too. Paul George did suit up for this one. He skipped us. Yeah, I wonder why. He didn't want to play the Raptors, but he played the Bucks, and they did beat the Bucks last night. So, see, this is a gauge right here. You know, we've beaten the Bucks once and lost to them once this year, and we've beaten the Sixers once and lost the Sixers once this year, and now the Sixers have beat the Bucks last night. So it's just kind of trying to figure out the matrix of who's what in the East right now. So nice win, Maxey and Nick Nurse and the Sixers. Yeah, on the second night of the back-to-back against the Bucks. Yeah, Nako's saying this. LaMelo Ball is going to get traded to the Heat. Nako's Lock of the Week. Okay, you have a new segment called Nako's Lock of the Week? All right, this is Nako's Lock of the Week. Bet on this. LaMelo Ball will be a Miami Heat player soon. I don't know about this one, man. You know, I've heard the craziest thing is I've heard he may be a Spur. Isn't that weird? What if LaMelo Ball is playing with Wemby all of a sudden? I don't know. We'll just have to see how it goes. And, you know, even though he's requesting a trade, don't mean he's going to get traded. You know, the Hornets could be like, we can't do that. You're our cash cow. You're the one all the kids love. And you're the reason why people are coming to our games right now. We can't trade you right now. Just because he's requesting a trade don't mean he gets it, Nako. Once again, guys, you got to understand, this league is not totally catered for the players. Is not totally catered for the players. Let's just put it that way. Neil's saying this. Good morning to Neil. 50% of the teams will be bad. The question is, will you be in that 50%? That's not always true, though. Especially this year, because you know what? These teams that are at the bottom are so bad, like having only like 1 or 2 wins. They are so bad. They kind of help a higher percentage be good. Think about it, because they're losing so much. There can be a higher percentage of good teams. So let's say, actually, it's like 35, 65. It's like the split. 35% of the teams are really bad, and 65% of the teams are actually good, because the 35% that are really bad lose so much that there's more teams that can actually be good, because it's not split 50-50 down the middle. No, it's not. It depends on the range, between like the very worst and the highest. And like, is there a lot in the middle that may be just above 500 that are winning teams? And that actually makes, out of the 30 teams in the NBA, there's like 18 of them are above 500. So it's never 50-50, Neil. It can be, but that's not a hard and fast rule right there. That's right. Seymour saying this, Nako, move Ja for LaMelo. That's what I'm saying. All right. Another malcontent top superstar is not happy. So just switch them up, trade them. Zion, Ja, Trae Young, LaMelo Ball. Can we have just a big 4-team trade and just a carousel of these guys going around like musical chairs? All right, shift one seat over, guys. And let's see how this works in this formation. Zion in Memphis, Trae Young in Charlotte, LaMelo in New Orleans, and Ja Morant in Atlanta. Something like that. You just like shuffle up and deal. Let's see who gets on where. Let's just do a blind like shuffle up. We'll say this is a mystery trade. We're going to have 4 top players that all are in bad situations where they are, and we're just going to draw names out of the hat, and you're going to get whichever one you get. That's crazy. That would be a crazy thing to do. It'd be kind of interesting if the NBA did that, though. A mystery trade where you don't know which one of them you're going to get. You just can't get the one you had, Let's see. Fiercey's saying this, free LaMelo. Okay. Free LaMelo from what? Millions of dollars and playing the NBA and being goofy looking? I don't know what we're freeing him from, but not coming to us. Our land is the 3 where he will land. Is one of the 3 where he'll land? No, whoever's saying he's coming here, they're idiots. We're not trying to. All right. Raptors Nation, we're not actively involved in trade talks right now. We're winning. We're successful. Why are we trying to trade anything? We don't need to. We're winning. Let's use logic here. Windurst. The Raptors are 10-5. The Raptors are second in the East. The Raptors are doing way better than everybody expect. Why are we making a trade? We're not. So any speculation that Bobby Webster's trying to make a trade right now is stupid and dumb and is not true. If you hear it from anywhere, if they say, oh, we're one of the 3 suitors for LaMelo Ball, don't believe that shit. Like, just think about this. Let's use critical thinking. Does that make sense? Oh, let's go get LaMelo Ball and put him on the Raptors all of a sudden. That's a winning move. It's not a winning move. We're already winning. Why would we fuck up what we're doing already to go get LaMelo Ball? We're not one of those 3 teams. If that's reported, that is a lie. And Bobby Webster ain't got nothing to do with LaMelo Ball. I'm telling you right now. That is a lie, lie. They can speculate that all they want. Yeah, same problems as job, professionalism, injury prone. No thanks. And sorry, Adonis. That's right. Fiercey's got the right stance on this. Even if they're speculating, even if they throw Raptors in there, they used to do it for Masai to get that Masai effect. Oh, Masai is interested in this player. Ooh, that makes them more valuable all of a sudden. You just throw in Toronto as an interest in a player. Rich Paul was doing that all the time. Yeah, Toronto's interested in my client. Yeah, maybe you should pay him more. Yeah, Masai likes him. Ooh, Masai likes him. All of a sudden, Rich Paul is inflating guys' money. We know for a fact that Kawhi Leonard used the Toronto Raptors franchise as leverage in his dealings with Steve Ballmer and aspiration in the Clippers. We know for a fact that he did that. They lied to them. They're saying, oh, Uncle Dennis is on the phone with Steve Ballmer. He's like, yeah, Toronto's going to give a stake in the Maple Leafs. Yeah, they're going to give us ownership there. Yeah. What are you willing to give us, Steve Ballmer? You want Kawhi to come to your team? You better come. They were using us just like other teams will use us. Just throw our name in there. It's because we're a fine, upstanding franchise. We're not like the Hornets and the Wizards. And people respect what we do because we do it good. And in some ways, of course, they're going to throw the Raptors' name in there as one of 3 teams interested in LaMelo Ball. Just confusion and bullshit and not absolutely any kind of truth to it. No, why would we do that? Let's think about this. And Fiercey knows, no, thank you. Sorry, Adonis. That's right. Sorry, Adonis. No, it's not happening. Sergeant Wayne's in the house. Let's see what Sergeant Wayne's saying this morning. Morning, Raptor Freaks. Game day. Nothing like a Friday game. Woo-wee. My expectations are to get to Vegas. That's right. What happens next? Up to the 2 in the final. It'll be fun to play Detroit at Vegas. This is looking like that's what's going to happen. Is that the Pistons are the team that's winning in their group. They're 2-0 in their group and looking like us. And we will probably have to face them. in Vegas. I forget about facing them in January. Like I was talking about a couple of days ago, we don't play Detroit until January in the regular season, but we may have to cross paths with them in Vegas at the in-season tournament. And that could be very, very exciting. Cade versus Scotty. And we can see just which of the border towns are going to be better. Toronto versus Detroit is a great matchup. We love that one. Nako going to go jump over the border and watch it. Well, they're going to be playing in Vegas this time, Gerald. So it's a long drive. Let's just put it that way. That's right. Let's go. Shaq Lindsay saying it doesn't matter how talented you are. If your coach or an organization priorities are about winning and money, or about money and everything else but winning, then these players will lose their passion to get better or make their team get better. Example, LaMelo Ball. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I mean, look, somebody could get upset about getting drafted to Toronto because it's another country, or it's cold, or taxes, or customs, or whatever fuck. You don't need to be worrying about that. You need to be worrying about whether your team is capable to develop you and make you a better player, if they care about making you a better player. Because some of these teams don't. Some of these teams are just come on in, sink or swim. You better do it on your own because we don't have a program to help you to do it. So it's like I said, if not every team's going to be up the same standards as we are, that's their fault. And in some ways, I don't give a shit about any individual player that comes into basketball. This is the world of basketball. It's cutthroat. And in some ways, look, somebody was asking, why is David Roddy on this team? He's not in the NBA. Yeah, because it's like that. This league is so fucking hard. And in some ways, there's new guys coming in the draft every year, and they displace guys that are already in there, and they get moved down, and they move around, and they go right on out. They go on to Australia, Javon Freeman Liberty. They go on to Paris, France, Jared Rodin. They go on to Madrid, Spain, Marquise Noel. So it's just, this is just how it is. There's no guarantees in basketball. Some of it is luck. You're just like, damn, I'm lucky I got drafted to the Raptors. And some people need to be saying that, like Grady Dick, Jacoby Walter, Chucky Hepburn. Yeah, those people need to be saying this kind of stuff. Jamison Battle. Yeah, I'm glad I'm with the Raptors because I have a path to get better and develop and have an NBA life, possibly. Yeah, LaMelo for Ja is crazy script writing. It'd be kind of fun. LaMelo in Memphis and Ja in Charlotte. It'd be kind of fun. I mean, they're similar kind of players. Seriously, very showy. In some ways, I have more respect for Morant than Ball, but still, in some ways, it's the same kind of stuff to me, at least. It's a little bit more flash than substance, is what I'm saying. Yeah, teams get better. Okay, let's keep going. That was the rest of the part I read. Yeah. Smith saying this, a lot of really bad teams littered around the NBA. Never seen this before. I have. There's been bad teams in the NBA every year. There's always going to be a bad team in the league every year, a team that just struggles and barely gets wins. I think that right now the interesting thing is there really is like 4 or 5 teams that are really struggling badly. And then there's like a middle range of group that's kind of not sorted out. And then there's just the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's kind of like that. I mean, although we're kind of on the higher end now with 10 wins and the Spurs have 10 wins and there's the Cavs and the Pistons. There's a hierarchy of the double-digit win teams, and there's a whole meaty middle part, and then there's maybe 8 teams that are really shitty that are at the bottom of the league. The different tiers of good teams in the NBA shifts and changes, and sometimes those tiers grow and expand in different years. Sometimes there are only a couple of really top-notch teams like the Bulls back in the day that we beat in the Sky Dome, or the Warriors that have the highest record ever in the history of the NBA. And then there's a team, the next team is way below them, It's interesting how they all kind of fall every year and the way that the standings and the hierarchy of the NBA comes out in the games. It's very interesting because it's never the same exactly. It's never there's only 2 really bad teams. No, there could be 5 bad teams, or they could be 3 bad teams. It's different. It's different every year. Kareem's saying this, the Greensboro announcer was lit. He deserves a pay increase. Yeah, he was doing double duty because he was by himself. He was no color commentator, just a one-man show. And in some ways, some people were like, man, he's talking a lot. But he has to because there's nobody else there. In some ways, it's like me. I have to talk a lot because unless y'all are calling me, there's no other voice on the channel. And, I applaud that guy. He had a tough duty. He did a good job, I thought, too. So I'll give him some credit, too. Greensboro Swarm announcer last night for the 9:05 game, pulling double duty and no color commentator, just himself, just talking the whole game. It was pretty tough, pretty tough. Nako saying, if I'm the Hornets, I'm just thinking about how I can build around Khan Knippel. Yeah. I think somebody made a funny joke the other day. They said it's so great that the Hornets have paired a young phenom like LaMelo Ball with a veteran Khan Knippel. I think somebody posted that on Blue Skies. I forget who it was. It was one of the Toronto writers. I think that's hilarious that they called Khan Knippel a veteran. I said, in some ways, like, he does carry himself like a vet already in his very young rookie career right now in the NBA, Khan Knippel. But that's funny in regards to kind of LaMelo, who's been in the league for 6 years or something like that. In some ways, you could say Khan Knippel is more of a solid veteran than LaMelo Ball at this time and place right now. It's kind of a weird thing to be able to say. I'll just say that. Neil's saying this. Raptors need to use tonight's game to build up their differential. No mercy. I agree with that. I'm totally with you on that. Shaq Lindsay saying the problem isn't LaMelo. The problem is the Hornets, and it's sad. Khan and Miller will find out in a few years. The same can be said about Sar, Trey, and Bilal from the Wizards. Yeah, I don't feel bad for them. I don't feel sorry for this. This is just this is a cruel world. This is just like in the animal kingdom. Austria is going to get ate by a crocodile. It's just how it is. It's just how it is. If these teams want to get better, well, tough titty. It's going to be hard for you. You got to attract some good quality people in certain areas to get some momentum to build to. In some ways, we're lucky. That's why, once again, I'll say Masai Ujiri was absolutely key for us to be a quality organization and continue to be right now, because he gave us some building blocks that were really important and special. That coach's spot is so important. You don't want to mess around with too many coaches and getting the wrong ones over and over again, because you'll waste time in developing guys, because this isn't the long-term coach. That's why we need to really back up Darko and be very confident with him, because switching the coach out and out is one of the problems with these teams that we just named, Charlotte and Washington. Now, see, what is the assets for the Wizards on their team? They have good young players and get lottery picks, but do they have an asset in their coach? No. Do they have an asset in their front office? No. What is their asset? Nothing really, other than the players that are supposed to come in there and do it. It's tough. It's a tough thing. It's like, where do you start? How do you build this? How do you get there? Is it Khan Knippel going to be the catalyst that makes the Hornets kind of go into a winning part? I don't know. Is he that good a player? Is he able to do that? I don't know. There's no guarantees. So it's just the way it is. And in some ways, just as much as the Vancouver Grizzlies languished and failed and had to move, this is just part of the sad reality of the NBA. And that's why, in some ways, I don't feel bad for other teams, because this could have been us. They wanted us to be that. And that's why I have so much respect and love for Tim Lewicki and Masai Ujiri, because they were not going to ever let us be the Hornets or the Wizards, even though the NBA wanted us to be those. And they wanted us to be those in the last 5 years. And we still coming through like we do right now. So it's a cruel, tough, mean-ass world. And as much as I'd like to have, I wish this franchise was healthy too, and they had good, attractive things that can make them good, I don't give a shit, because it's a take-all kind of league. And in some ways, somebody has to be shitty. And in some ways, if it's the Wizards and the Hornets, hell, I'm great. That's fine with me, because I don't want it to be the Raptors. How about that? Because somebody's going to have to be like that. And in some ways, it's like, look, those players that are on that team, if they want to take it upon themselves to try and pull that team out of the mud by themselves, Khan Knippel or Keyshawn George, that's up to you. But also, at a certain point, you're going to have your own decisions to make with your contract and free agency, and you can make that decision then. So I don't know. I don't know where they start. I'm not the GM of the Wizards. I don't know how to fucking fix their team. You could get draft picks over and over again. Doesn't mean you're going to get anywhere. That's just how it is. RJ saying this. Good to see Randolph Phillips in the chat. Game day blessings, beloved Raptor Freaks family. Stand up for what's right. Always, no matter the cost. Your values, morals, integrity, and principles matter. This is very important right now with the oath that the U.S. military has taken to their service. The oath is very clear that you are to stand for the Constitution, not for the president necessarily. And in some ways, a lot of moral decisions are going to have to be made by law enforcement and police and military in the United States, because they may be given orders that are absolutely morally wrong and not the right orders. And they're going to have to figure out what they need to do in that moment. Well, I would say to anybody who took an oath, whether you're an officer of the law, whether you're a military person, you better take that oath seriously. Because listen, if you're doing dirty work for that asshole that's in the White House right now in bad, nefarious ways, they will come around and get you later, and you will be on trial for your crimes. So if you're faced with a decision, a moral quandary in your life right now, because you have orders that you know are morally wrong and they are criminally even maybe wrong, you better follow your oath, is what I'm saying right now. Blessings to the Phillips family and all the Raptor Freak families. That's right. Let's go. Especially with the team we're playing today in that city of Washington, D.C., where they have had the National Guard there for weeks now, and it's bullshit. It's costing the taxpayers all this money, and it's absolutely unnecessary, and it's been absolutely horrendous for local business in the Washington, D.C. area. So, yeah, National Guard in your own cities. What the fuck are you doing, you piece of shit, Trump, is what I'm saying right now. Yeah, blessings to the Phillips family and all the Raptor Freak families. Let's keep going. Neil's saying this. Oh, the problem is LaMelo. He's in Rucker Park mode. I don't know if it's LaMelo's fault. I don't know whose fault it is. It's just that, once again, if you just don't have enough established like things in your franchise that are healthy and good and doing good, it's where do you start with the building blocks? You have to start somewhere. And in some ways, the best place to start is the front office if you can, and then the coach, and then the players. But some teams are trying to do it from the players to the other places, and that's not going to work. That's not going to work. You wonder why the Washington Wizards want to pay so much money to get Masai Ujiri to come and run them. That's right. That's right. You wonder why. Wayne's saying this. I'm choosing what I see in Elijah Martin as a winner. Might not be a Toronto Raptor, but his aggression and IQ beats his height. If we don't need players from the 905, Martin will win a championship for the 905. I agree with this too. I think he is a winner too. I think he's absolutely a winner. But I thought Marquise Noel is a winner too. And there's just things that we have to understand. It's just a tough, tough league. The league is going the way of Wemby. 7'5". So is there a place for a 6-foot guard or a 5'7" guard? That's the tough thing right there. As much as Elijah's a badass, he's a leaper. He can jump so high. He's got such strong arms. This league is not necessarily for him, sadly, because this league has only gotten bigger and badder as the years have gone on. I'll bet you Elijah Martin could have played in the NBA in the 80s. He could have played in the NBA in the 90s even. But I don't know if he can at this point. I hope he proves me wrong. In some ways, if this pisses you off, Elijah Martin, if you hear me saying this, go on and prove me wrong. I'd love for you to, because I'll be happy if you do, because I want you to be successful. I'm just trying to be real here and talking about stuff. And in some ways, it's tough, man. It's really, really tough in your particular player build to do what you want to do. You better get really good at shooting, is what I'm saying. You better make almost all your shots. But I like this, Wayne. I'd love to see Elijah and them get some real success this year with Coach Jones. And, you know, that success looks really badass. I mean, he's an NCAA champion with a ring from Florida. And you know what? He can get hardware and accolades even if they're not totally on the highest level in the NBA. He can still do this in other places. I mean, look at Jordan Lloyd. Look at Lorenzo Brown. These guys are doing fantastic and not anywhere near the NBA. That's right. Neil saying this. Julian Reese can be stolen if Bobby doesn't go get him a two-way. This is true. We've seen this with Brendan Carlson going to the Thunder. Ooh, Brendan Carlson. Ooh, I don't care. Whatever. Julian Reese, I don't know. I don't know how much he's on the radar. But, yeah, this is something maybe we need to worry about. I don't know. Let's not put this out here too much, Neil. Let's shut up. Neil saying this. Switch Chucky to a full contract and put Juju on the two-way. Well, they do have this leeway right now because they have the open roster spot. They do have the potential to do this, but I don't know if they will. I don't know if they will because in some ways Chucky's not earned a full roster contract yet. If I'm gauging this, AJ gets that contract, not Chucky. You can put that full roster contract on AJ and make a two-way into Julian Reese, and that would make more sense. But I'm still thinking that open roster spot that Bobby Webster has right now is just in case we're going to do a deal at some point this season where we're going to get 2 players for 1, and we're going to need that open roster spot. Or he just gets 1 player solidly free agent signing to solidify our front court with another big. So, it could be that they just do that. That is a move that they could do too internally. Convert AJ Lawson to a standard contract from 2-way and put the 2-way on Julian Reese. You could do it today, Bobby, if you wanted to. You could do it today. And that would ensure nobody coming to vulture Julian Reese away from us, seagull him. No, but we don't want anybody seagull and Juju Reese off our team because he is a good one. He's a good one. Yeah, Neil saying this. I agree. The Greensboro announcer was lit. He has some ex-auctioneer skills. Yeah, he was fast. He can go fast. It's true. Yeah. The Black Mamba's here. Good morning to the Black Mamba. Thank you for subscribing to my channel, man. I love your emoticon parade with the dinosaurs and the peace and the hearts. God bless the Raptor Street. God bless you, man. God bless Black Mamba. God bless the Mamba mentality of Kobe Bryant that lives on in the players today. Rest in peace. We love you. Great. Kobe Bryant, rest in power. Scotty Barnes' favorite. Yes. And you lived through the feat of Brandon Ingram to this day. The feat of DeMar DeRozan. And they're teaching the youth of the Toronto Raptors, your feet work now. Brandon Ingram is the sensei instructor. And the young Padawans that are lining up in class like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles around Splinter are Scotty Barnes and Jacoby Walter, going to learn from his namesake, Jacoby's namesake, Kobe Bryant. It was passed down because Brandon Ingram played with Kobe in Los Angeles when he was a rookie. When he was young, he got to actually be around Kobe Bryant, which was awesome. And in some ways, having that real world experience, being near somebody he patterned his footwork after so closely. Well, the lessons live on, even with Kobe gone. And we love you, Bean Bryant. We love you. And thank you for being here, Black Mamba. Yeah. There you go. I had to go on a tangent about this because this is true. What I'm saying, Brandon Ingram on the down low is teaching Scotty Barnes how to play like Kobe Bryant. And that's why Scotty Barnes is going to level up even more, guys, in the next couple of years. Because once he learns footwork, like Brandon, look out, man. Scotty's already nasty and scary. But he's doing this on the down low. He's getting the tutelage from Brandon Ingram, a direct pupil of Kobe, to teach him now. Yeah. Future's real bright. Real bright with the Raptors this year. Oh, yeah, real bright. Real bright. Cloy's here. Sheriff Seymour, start a podcast, and I'll give you a listen. See what I'm saying, man? He's got the chops. In some ways, I want him to co-host with me. I need him to be the four quarters segment every single day with Sheriff Seymour Pape. It's just been such a brilliant, amazing segment. I really enjoy it, man. His insights and questions and what he's saying is just very welcome, is what I like there. Yeah, let's see. James is here. Good to see Raptor Freak James. Martin can be a contributor in the future. He's averaging 18 points per game, 2.3 threes per game, and 2.2 steals per game. Fills the 3-and-D mold for the guard position. I don't disagree with you that he's a talented player and he's got a lot of athletic skill and he's a winner, guys. I don't disagree with any of that. I'm just looking at the reality of the landscape of the NBA and how fucking hard it is to make that league, man. It's really hard. He's got a foot in the door as a 2-way, and he's going to get some opportunities to play for the regular Raptors this season. And in some ways, how that goes will say a lot about what happens, how that goes. The stuff on the 905 is great. In some ways, he's supposed to look real good down there. He's supposed to. But let's see how he looks when he makes his Raptors debut. That's the next part of this. That's right. In some ways, the NBA is a totally different level of talent. And it's a lot harder to do what he's doing in the 905 on that level. Let's just put it that way. And Nako's saying this, kudos to Detroit because they were a high drafting team that found it out. I want to, once again, give a lot of credit to a guy who's an important person in our buildup, and that's Dwayne Casey. Dwayne Casey established that, once again, as a coach, he can establish getting it out of mud for a team just like he did here in Toronto in the early 2010s. He did the same thing for the Pistons and coaching that team after he was dismissed by us. And he went there and he started building them right away. And the success that the Pistons are feeling right now with their record is laid down by Case once again. Dwayne Casey had those years coaching Cade when he was young. And, well, they went through a couple different coaches, but Casey was always in the front office this whole time. And he's been in some ways the steady person that's been around this buildup for the Pistons. So in some ways, I say, look, he was around when we did it, and he's around the Pistons when he's doing it. I think he's a common element, guys. Coach Casey, Dwayne Casey, Coach of the Year at the Toronto Raptors. So I think that in some ways he's part of it right there. That's right. Let's see. Nako's saying, yeah, Flag was overhyped. That being said, I don't think Dallas is playing him right. Yeah. They try to force him to play point guard, and he should not be trying to do such a high-level job in the NBA as a rookie right now. If you think about what Scotty did in his rookie year, it was kind of like, hey, just go out there and have fun and just do whatever you're out there. That's in some ways the years Cooper should be playing right now. But they have too much responsibility on him, and in some ways he has the ball going through him too much right now because he's not ready for this. He's going to make all his rookie turnover mistakes and foul mistakes, and they can't keep him on the floor. Or he's just going to – it's just not – he's throwing them to the fire too much. It's just too much. Too much all at once is what it is. Guardian Transit's back in the chat. Good to see a long-time purveyor of the Raptor Freak channel. Guardian Transit's back in the house. I've become a huge fan of Mamu. My wish list is a solid backup big 7-foot rebounder blocker. Yeah, the two names we've been throwing around the last 2 days are Day'Ron Sharpe and Daniel Gafford. Two very realistic possibilities that Bobby Webster could target this year at some point to add to our roster somehow, some way. We love the add-on of Day'Ron being a close friend of Scotty. And Daniel Gafford is a great veteran that would give what you just described, rebounding and blocking, in a way that we get more depth behind Jakob Poeltl. Because as Alvin Williams said on the Mike Roach show yesterday, check it out, the new episode of Mike Roach. It's fantastic. It's about an hour of Alvin Williams just espousing on the Raptors' current state and the NBA. And he said that we're in trouble without Yak. We've known this in the last couple of years. If Yak is missing, we are definitely a weakened team, and we do need to shore up that weakness. I agree with that. Guardian Transit, salute to you, man. Good to see you back in the chat with me, man. So we're saying this. Mark Walser also fired most of the Lakers scouting staff as well. Yeah, it's a new regime. It's just like with Rodgers taking over our team this year. There's going to be changes. Luckily, the cuts and changes to the Raptors organization through MLSE under Rodgers have not been too deep. Some of it's been more on the broadcasting side. And, you know, they didn't hire anybody new. They just kept everybody that they already had, which has been good because there's a lot of continuity from last season and the success that Darko's been building with Bobby Webster and Masai before that is still intact. So that's really, really important, man. That's really, really important. Kaz is saying W ran on Christmas games, Lex. Yeah, it's just the way I feel about it. I mean, what is it? It's not anything built up other than the NBA builds that prestige. They want to have that prestige. And in some ways, it's like I don't have to recognize your prestige for Christmas games. I really don't. I don't have to. And some people say, oh, you're just bitter because you never get to play on Christmas. Once again, I gave you very specific reasons why I don't like the Christmas games for the Raptors, because in some ways I know they're going to railroad us to a loss on Christmas if we even get to play. And I don't want to ruin my Christmas because I do get pissed off after the Raptors lose. I don't want to feel shitty at Christmas dinner with my parents after the Raptors lost to the Celtics on a Christmas day. And, you know, all the Celtics fans are, meanwhile, on their Christmas, woo, we beat the Raptors, and they're all happy. Like, fuck that. I don't even want that chance. So let's just have Christmas. And that's that. That's right. Reggie's saying this. Byron Leftwich? No, it's not Byron Leftwich. It's Brian Leftwich. It's like B. Leftwich. He's a coach. I don't know if he's related to Byron Leftwich. He probably isn't. The old quarterback from the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's on Raptors 905. No, there's a guy named Brian Leftwich who's an assistant coach under Andrew Jones. He's been with us a couple years. Monique knows him. He's a friend of Monique's. So she knows Brian. I think his name's Brian Leftwich. I said Byron by accident because I was thinking the old Jaguars quarterback. I was thinking him. Guardian Transit saying this. We'll be going to Raptors 905 game with my grandson on December 27th. First row courtside. Have to watch these young guns. It's a fantastic experience, Guardian Transit. I went to the second game this season and sat at courtside myself, and you're right there. Oh, my gosh. And I literally was talking to the players and the refs during the game. And it was funny, man. I talked to Jarkel Joyner. I talked to AJ a little bit. They nodded to me, and they're, like, waving to me. It's like, yeah, it was good, man. Yeah, you'll definitely enjoy that. And the crazy thing is courtside at a Raptors 905 game is very affordable. I mean, if you can do about $150, that's what it costs to sit at courtside at a 9:05 game, and it's really awesome. It's so fun. And man, when I go to 9:05 or CBL games with the Scarborough Shooting Stars, I'm gonna sit at courtside from now on because it's just a different kind of experience. And I mean, I'd do it at the Raptors games if I could afford it, but I can't, so I won't do it there. But I'll definitely be doing it at those two other venues, Paramount Fried Food Center and the Pan Am Center, when I see the Scarborough Shooting Stars play in the CBL next summer. Yeah, I'll have to see about Tempo too. Maybe I'll be going courtside at Tempo games also to a degree. Have to see where they're affordable on that. That'd be fun. Sit up front. Guardian Transit, I hope you have a fantastic time with your grandson. These are the kind of special moments that live forever. So take it in, man. Take it in. That's right. Trevor J is saying this. Tempo have first round pick and second round pick and a third round pick WNBA draft lottery this Sunday. Yeah, they're not picking this Sunday, Trevor. The only thing they're doing in the lottery is they're picking the first 5 picks and the ping pong balls, and that's it. The Tempo aren't involved in this thing on Saturday. It's basically they got to do the ping pong balls and decide the first 5 picks in the draft, and the Tempo will pick 6th. That's just already set. So we'll have the sixth pick, and I believe we have the 31st pick in the second round or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, we do have a few picks. And but they're already determined, and the lottery will only be for the first 5 teams picking. That's all for Saturday, and then we'll have the draft somewhere in the middle of December. So yeah, we're not necessarily doing anything Saturday. It's all for the other teams. Chris comes saying this: SGA had missed half of the games in fourth quarters. It would be nice to have a comfy win like that today and get Battle and other guys some minutes tonight in a 20-point win or something like that. Yeah, I'll agree with this. Development time, especially if the 2-ways are called up, they're probably back in town. So I would say Mobo and Lawson and those guys could be available for the game tonight if Darko feels like he wants them. We're pretty healthy. So I wouldn't waste the 2-ways and suiting them up. But Mobo will definitely be back with the Raptors today, I think, because they don't play again till oh my gosh, they don't play for 9 days. They don't play for over a week, the 9:05. So they all are going to be traveling with the Raptors for the next week because the 9:05 don't have jack shit going on for 9 days. They have a long period between yesterday and their next game. It's really weird, man. Really, really weird. I'd love a blowout too, Criscom, so that we could see the end of the bench more. In fact, that would be awesome if they do activate the 2-ways and Chucky and Elijah make their NBA debuts, because that's something that needs to happen still. Is we need to see Chucky Hepburn and Elijah Martin get in and get their first NBA game ever. And that has not happened yet. That has not happened yet. Chris comes saying anyone who wants Melo on this team doesn't understand who's not Raptors material. Yes. Yes. And once again, I would tell every Raptors fan, if we're on a path of success and things are going fine like this, we're not the Knicks. We don't see shiny things to the side and say, ooh, shiny thing, go get that, and screw up what we've got already. No, we don't do that kind of Knickerbocker foolishness with our front office. That's a dumbass thing that the Knicks do over and over again throughout their history, is they have a good thing going. Their nucleus is fine. Don't fuck with it. And then they go and say, oh, we need to go get Cat. Shit like that. So, yeah, let's not do this, Raptors fans. And understand this has been an Achilles heel for the Knickerbockers and the franchise for a while. Yeah, enjoy the game, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Yeah. Hopefully this game will be very good tonight. I'm pretty sure the Superfan Mo will be in the house at Scotiabank Arena for the in-season tournament game tonight. The big shiny red court that the Raptors will be playing on, it's going to be pretty cool. Some people have a problem with it because it's so bright, but I think it's going to be a cool-looking court, and especially if they're wearing their City Edition jerseys again tonight, the same ones that they wore on Monday against Charlotte. I think it'll pop real nice, the black on the red tonight. We'll have to see how it looks. I hope it is. Let's see. Reggie's here. Good to see Reggie. It's more to do with the younger fan and attention span, Lex. They're catering to that segment of the basketball population. Pacers considering trading for Anthony Davis if he becomes available. That's actually a move that makes sense. Because honestly, with the void of Miles Turner going to Milwaukee, in some ways, Davis would be much more helpful to their team. But what is the price to get him on the Pacers? What's going the other way towards Dallas from Indiana in that case? That's what I would wonder, because Davis is not a cheap player. And in some ways, once again, the cautionary tale of him is if you're going to try and acquire Anthony Davis, well, you may be paying a guy a lot of money to sit on your bench in street clothes. That's the cautionary tale for Davis right there. Yeah. Yeah, I get what you're saying. People that say they want LaMelo Ball on this team just for marketing, I don't give a shit about marketing. I don't give a shit about selling tickets to your little kids. I give a shit about Larry O'Brien's and championships. That's what I give a shit about right there. When saying all games, all championships matter when you're an athlete in whatever sport. Culture of winning does not choose which championship you give 100% and which you give 40%. You're nothing unless you win. Yeah. And this is why I'm really happy to see the 905 being so successful alongside the Raptors right now. Because, they're kind of a symbol or a symbolizer of what the Raptors' health is with their team. When our 905 team is doing very well, that bodes well for our bench mob. That bodes well for we have a pipeline of young guys who are coming up that are very good and they're winners, like Wayne's talking about. Elijah Martin's a winner. Chucky Hepburn's a winner. AJ Lawson's a winner. And in some ways, that winning culture of 6-0 with the 905 and Andrew Jones is fantastic because it echoes the period when Jerry Stackhouse was our coach and they won the championship in 2017. And 2 years later, the Raptors won the championship after that. So I've always thought a wave coming from the G League with talent. If the G League ecosystem is looking real good, that kind of forecasts that in the next couple of years, the Raptors will be very good also. So it's a welcome sign to see the G League finally fucking doing better without Eric Curry in charge, and us actually getting some good groundwork laid at that level to forecast success for the Raptors later. So it's the same pattern we had at that time going into 2019. So I'm just saying it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Yeah, and if we can win any of these tournaments, even if this Emiratis Cup is kind of goofy and new, it'd be nice to be the third team to ever win it. If we can win in Vegas in the in-season tournament and join the Lakers and the Bucks as the only teams that have won it ever. In some ways, we want to do this because, we want to have that triple crown. We've got a G League championship in 2017. We got an NBA championship in 2019. And, I'd like to win an in-season tournament cup also to add that to the accolades of our franchise. As Wayne says, winning matters and you want to win. Is what I'm saying. Yeah. Neil's saying this. I will not cry for the Wizards. They got good pieces in the draft and will continue to pick up more. They just need the right bets to mature them. I don't know where to even start with this shit. In some ways, it's like you really want to have some really good cornerstones and building pieces. But in some ways, where do you start? And when you get one good piece for a little while, are they gone after their rookie contract? Because they're like, yeah, I wasted so much time in Washington. It's so hard to establish this and to get all things going all at the same time like we're doing right now with our team. You have to be very, very good at your job like Bobby Webster and Masai Ujiri. Because this is the thing. The Raptors as a franchise couldn't afford to miss on any front office stuff. Like if we missed like some of these other teams do, like the Wizards, yeah, the NBA would bury us so far down. So every single thing that Bobby Webster does and everything that Masai did before had to be perfect. That's why, when getting Ingram, yeah, this was going to work out. We needed this to work out. Whatever it is, trading Siakam, trading to get RJ and Emmanuel, drafting Scotty, drafting Jacoby, drafting Grady. We got to hit on these things. Colin Murray-Boyles, because we can't afford not to. Because in some ways, we're one of the have-nots in the NBA. To become one of the haves, we have to make it happen. And that's a pretty good batting average with the front office on their decisions and what the outcomes are and what they do. We can't afford to have duds. We can't afford to sign a guy like Anthony Davis and have him come up here and make $40 million a year and sit on our bench and do nothing. We can't afford to do that as our franchise, being the only Canadian franchise. That's the part of the deal with what we got going on up here. That's right. We can't be like the Wizards. No, we can't. No, we can't. Nako's saying this. Trae Young's the best out of all of them. At least he led a team to the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah, and Alvin talked about Trae Young a little bit last night. In some ways, he said some things that I echo a lot on here. He said, I don't think LaMelo's a winning player in the NBA. I don't think Trae is either. He said it just like I did. I think that Trae has deficiencies and certain things that will limit him and not allow him to get to the highest level. But I have to say he has been very successful to a degree in his career in the playoffs at different times, like getting into the Eastern Conference Finals. That's literally what Boogie Williams said. But in some ways, it's like he understands that there's limits to some of these players. And Trae Young's not going to get you a championship. He's not going to get you a championship. G's saying this. The Raptors are finally winning by by after 1,312 days, but let's trade a player that is a part of the reason why we are winning. Yeah, we're not doing any of that, G. You're right. Nako saying I am not driving to Vegas. I've driven to Vegas before from Florida. It was an amazing trip. I did it with 3 high school buddies of mine. We just left and drove in 3 days to Vegas from Tallahassee, Florida. We took I-10 all the way to Phoenix, and then we went north from there. It was crazy. I was like 19 or something like that. I was really young. And to drive across the United States just with 3 of your friends, and we even went to Mexico. We did all kinds of crazy shit on that trip. It's a kind of like one of those things you just have to do, I guess. Rite of passage. You're a young person. You got to go on spring break somewhere. And well, we chose to go to spring break in Vegas, of all places. We were in Florida. It's like, yeah, we could drive to Fort Lauderdale like everybody else does. But that's so close. And let's make this interesting. Let's go to Vegas instead. So we did that once. You can do it, Gerald. Trust me. I did it. See, we're saying salute to Kaloy tuning in every Thursday, call-in show, 4 quarters. That's right. You going to do it, man? You can take the name. I'll call into your show. You set up a YouTube channel and call it 4 quarters with Seymour Pape, and I'll be the guy who calls in. We'll just do the mirror. I love to do that. I'd love to be your guest on your YouTube podcast. Seriously, man. If you're going to do it, I'll be a part of it. That's right. Oh, Rob's here again. I'm going to the game, second NBA Cup game last year. I went to the one against Detroit. You're going today, or you're going to the one next week? I'm going to the one next week too. Monique's going to be there too. Next Wednesday, we'll play Siakam and the Pacers in the final in-season tournament game in the group play round. And I'll be in the arena for that one too when they play Siakam and them next Wednesday. So you're going to be there, Rob? That's awesome, man. Maybe we'll have to figure out a way to kind of meet up and say hi. I'm already talking about maybe meeting up with Monique for a second at the game. So maybe we can figure this out, Stillman. We'll have to figure it out, right? Mo's saying this. I'm going tonight, yes. And maybe the Wizards, Scotiabank Arena is my happy place. That's right. That's right. That's her habitat. That's her happy place. That's my happy place too. My favorite building in the whole entire world is the Scotiabank Arena, aka the Air Canada Center, which is what I knew it as for many, many years. And in some ways, I still kind of call it that. I'm going to be that kind of person when I'm older. It's like, you mean Air Canada Center? Just like people say the Sky Dome over Rogers Center. Yeah, it just shows your age in some ways. But yeah, we love that place so much. And Mo's going to her happy place tonight. And that is awesome. W Stream, W Vibes. Thank you, Mo. I'm about 10 minutes away from 2 hours. We'll start finishing up soon. Go Raptors for life. Keep at it always, Lex. Raptor Freak Crew, strong forever. Just help me limit the comments. And real quick, the straight goods on Canadian goods. Guys, if you like nachos and salsa, Que Pasa is the great chip for you to buy. Don't buy Tostitos or Frito-Lay. That's an American company, and you're giving money to American corporations when you buy those kind of products. This is the Canadian-made product, Que Pasa, and this is just as good. These are salted tortilla chips, just like you would put in the salsa. And, if you're buying this, you're supporting Canadian industry. You're supporting Canadian workers. It stays in our economy. You're not giving a percentage of the sales to an American company. And I'm telling y'all, this is so important for us to do right now. Once again, I've cut out all American brands out of my diet, and I'm healthier than ever. That's a weird coincidence, isn't it? Because the American products have so much preservatives and extra crap and chemicals, because in some ways, the American products and the FDA down south, especially under Trump, have lower quality standards for their food. So I'm telling you, just to switch, not only to economically support Canada better, but also my health is better because of this decision. So I'm telling you right now, you can't go wrong with these chips right here. They're organic. These are salted. They're just like the regular chips you get at a Mexican restaurant if you're waiting for your food, and you get some good salsa by Neil Brothers, and boom, you've got a straight up Canadian chips and salsa that ain't got nothing to do with the United States. So Que Pasa, you see this label at your store. This is the right chips for you, for your chips and salsa. That's right. We love chips and dip in Canada, don't we, Drake? That's right. We like chips with our dip, or chips, champion chips. That's right. Let's go. Rob's saying Michael Jordan. Hang on. Let's see. He's saying this. Michael Jordan screwed up that franchise for years. I don't know if that's true. I think that he kind of helped them. He bolstered them in a little bit. And he made the change from Bullets to Wizards a little bit more palatable for them, I think. I don't know if that's true. His opportunity will come. There's always injury, unfortunately. Elijah, yeah. Yeah, Elijah they'll get their chances. The two ways will get their chances on the main squad at some point, but I'm not in a rush for that because I like the health of the Raptors. That's right. Most saying thank you, Wayne. And in reference to Elijah, I tell Lex all the time, give up on him too soon. It's not that I'm giving up on him. It's just once again, in some ways, this is kind of my tough love stance. I do this with certain players sometimes, especially when I determine that they're kind of the one who's really the most on the bubble for what can happen for them. In some ways, it's me lighting a fire under Elijah Martin's ass to say, look, dude, you don't have a whole lot of opportunities. You're going to really need to make the best of the ones you get right now as a two-way on the Raptors, because nothing is guaranteed on nothing as a second-round pick. We've got to remember this. Not everybody's Jamal Shead, guys. Just because Shead came in and he established himself as a rotation player with the Raptors immediately doesn't mean these second-round guys have paths to places. In fact, in some ways, Shead is a part of the reason why Elijah Martin won't have a good path to get on the Raptors. So it's like, you guys, I'm thinking about this realistically. I'm not thinking about this with my heart. I'm not thinking about this like I want everybody to make it, because in some ways it'd be nice if there was a world where everybody could make it, but that's not true in the NBA. There's limited spots. And I'm just thinking about this realistically. Once again, I said it. If people don't like what I'm saying about Elijah Martin, and Elijah Martin's one of them, prove me wrong. I want you to. I've said this about Justin Champagnie. I've said this about Ron Harper Jr. And the similar place and case, just like Elijah Martin. I said, Marquise Noel, you want to make the NBA, you got to go above and beyond. And it's the same case for Elijah Martin, guys. It's not that I don't like the guy. It's not that I don't think he's talented. I don't think he's an amazing athlete. I don't think he's a good basketball player. He's an amazing basketball player. It's just I know what it takes to make the NBA. And in some ways, I don't know if he's got it. That's all I'm saying here, guys. It's not even like I guess it's kind of mean to say, but it's just the damn truth. Let's just put it that way. Now, this is the one who proved me wrong the most was Fred, because I said the same damn thing about Fred when he came into our system as our fourth point guard in his first year as an undrafted player on the Raptors. I said, man, this Fred VanVleet guy, there's something about him, but I don't know if he'll make it. I don't know if he'll make it. And I said the same damn things about him, and he proved me very wrong. And I love that. I love that. I'm not mad at Fred for proving me wrong when I doubted him and his ability to be a full-time NBA player. It's the same situation, y'all. It's the same situation. Forgive me for not thinking Fred VanVleet would be a full-time NBA player in the beginning. And a lot of people could just lie and say, oh, I thought he was going to be good the whole time. No, I'm not going to lie. When I saw Fred VanVleet showed up in the Raptors organization so long ago, I was like, this man will not make it. And he proved me wrong. So this is the same exact situation with Elijah. You want to be like Fred VanVleet? Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, Elijah. That's what I'm saying. In some ways, I'm trying to encourage him. I'm trying to stoke that competitive fire in him to prove the Raptor freak wrong. It's not a thing against him. I'm trying to help him. If you get it the way I'm saying it, you know what I'm saying? Most saying this, RJ's new shoes are coming out December the 1st. Yeah, Puma will release the 0.9 seconds, the 9-second shoes, 9 for RJ, number 9. It's awesome. We saw a post by Emmanuel on Instagram yesterday that's hilarious. You know, they had the brickin' for chicken on Wednesday night in Philadelphia. If the Raptors missed 2 free throws at a free throw attempt, the crowd would get free Chick-fil-A. Well, Emmanuel trolled them on his Instagram yesterday. He made a post with Chick-fil-A in it, trolling the Sixers for winning against them with some cool pictures of them beating the Sixers and RJ Barrett eating some Chick-fil-A in the locker room after the game. Yeah, because the fans didn't get no Chick-fil-A. But RJ Barrett, damn for sure, got some Chick-fil-A. It's so petty, man. But I love that troll behavior by Emmanuel. That's hilarious that he did that. He made a Chick-fil-A post the night after we beat them, and they didn't get no brickin' for chicken. That's right. No brickin' for chicken, Philadelphia people. Sorry. Meanwhile, up here, the giveaway right now with the Raptors is if the Raptors score 100 points in a game, which is every game, Pizza has to give out free slices to everybody. Well, they didn't think that one out. You know, in some ways, I can understand Chick-fil-A being like, yeah, an NBA player has to miss 2 free throws in a row for us to give out the chicken. That percentage-wise don't work too well. Even if you're Jakob Poeltl, he could shoot 55% from free throw. And that's not very likely that you're going to miss 2 free throws in a row unless you're really off. And it does happen. But, the Raptors scoring 100 points in a game and giving free pizza out, that's going to happen every game. Pizza, you didn't think of this one through. Maybe you thought the Raptors are going to be bad this year. And you're like, oh, yeah, we'll give pizza out to every game that they win. They get 100 points. The Raptors are going to score like 130 right now. So it's like, y'all be giving up a lot of pizza right now, pizza. You didn't think about the parameters of your contest there. In some ways, that's right. Yeah, let's keep going. Trevor's saying the same team that beat us to break 28 losing streak, now they're number 1 and we're number 2. You're talking about the Pistons. Yeah, people bringing up that we were a futile team and they were a futile team just 2 years ago, right around the OG trade. Where were we and where were they? Wow, really bad. And now we're the top 2 teams in the East. Oh, how the tables have turned. That's right. That's how the tables have turned. Let's see. Blaze the Goat saying, I'm not a fan of the Tempo logo or colors, but we'll see how they look on the court. That's usually how people change their opinions, but that's just me. I thought at first the Tempo stuff was a little generic, but it's growing on me immensely, man. Like, I like the logo now. I like the way it looks. Like, I've gotten familiar with it over a year now. Pretty much we've had it for a year almost. And, the colors are interesting. They're very different. On the slide, the purple it's not really purple, but it is purple. It's like a burgundy or something like that. I think that's a really cool color. And the other thing about the other color is this, a powder blue or a hydrogen blue. It's a very different kind of light powder blue. It's very interesting. So I don't know. We have to see the whole layout. Once again, the other big thing is we have to see the jerseys, man. We have to see how they design the jerseys and what they look like. That'll have a big determinant on some of this. Watch. Yeah. Monique's saying his name is Brandon Leftwich, not Brian Lex. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't keep everything tracked. In some ways, an assistant coach on the Raptors 905 is not a big deal to me in some ways. I know that you're friends with quite a few of them over the last few years, but in some ways, I get confused because of Byron Leftwich. And then it's like, oh, his name's Brian. And maybe that's because I got him confused with Brian Macon, but his name's Brandon Leftwich. Okay, I appreciate you correcting me. I'm going to give you a dunk for it. And I know you know him personally, so you're going to know his name for sure. Once again, I don't know all the support staff. Like, you know a lot more of the support staff than I do. And in some ways, I can't know all them because I have to know all this other stuff that I just don't have time to try and figure out all the employees of the Raptors. Like, ushers and like people that are in player personnel and just people that are in some ways are not important for me to know. And I'm not saying that Brandon Leftwich isn't important for me to know. I know of him, but I don't know all the assistant coaches in 905's name. I don't know that tall white guy's name. I think his name's like Peterson or something. I don't know. I have no idea. Like, it's good that I even know Byron, or not Byron or Brian. It's Brandon Lex. Brandon Leftwich. Okay, thank you, Mo. I got you a dunk. You are at 129 now on the dunk charts. Yeah, okay, so his name's Brandon. All right, I'm going to put that in my head, just like Ingram. All right, let's see. Wayne's saying, good debate to have on Martin. Noel is below normal. Bad example. Developing Martin is him improving his shooting that changes everything for him. Closing down wingers and shooting, he's legitimate. You got to understand, though, as much as Noel's 5'7", Elijah's barely 6 foot. I mean, he's not that tall, guys. He's undersized also. In some ways, he's the same size as Fred or even Damon Stoudemire, Mighty Mouse. And that's the thing he's up against, really. I mean, there was one point in the 905 game last night where he had to jump a jump ball against the center. And I was like, oh, watch this. Because I know Elijah's got an explosive vertical leap. Like, before every game, he comes out on the court and he just does a standing jump. And he jumps his entire height up in the air. So it's like when he did that jump ball with the center, I was kind of like, he could win this jump, guys. Watch. He could win this jump. Just watch. But he didn't. He didn't win it. But he got up there and he tried to. He's jumping against a guy who's a foot taller than him. That's just the thing, man. In some ways, I hate to say it, and I hate that this is it, but it's just the damn truth. Height is important in basketball. And in some ways, he doesn't have the basic height for his. The other problem is this. It's a classic thing with the guard. If you're not a straight-up point guard at that height, you're not making the NBA. You're just not. You're just not. Because you're a liability at the 2 if you're 6 foot. It doesn't matter how strong he is. It doesn't matter how high he can jump. People can see right over him, and they will shoot right over him. You expect him to guard a position that RJ Barrett plays at 6'7"? You expect him to guard a position that's a half a foot taller than him, that will have shooting guards coming at him that can see right over him and shoot right over him? That's the problem right there, guys. That's it. If he was a straight up point guard like Chucky, I'd say he has more of a chance like Chucky does. I think Chucky has a way more of a chance of making the NBA as a full-time NBA player than Elijah. Because in some ways, once again, Elijah's a winning player. Elijah's a stud athlete. Elijah has badass shoulders and arms, and he's an amazing vert leap. He's an amazing athlete. But this is all athletics. This is all stuff that's not necessarily winning stuff. That's not necessarily the stuff that is absolutely what you want on your team. I just got to say it. Prove me wrong, Martin. Prove me wrong. That's the other thing I'll say. Prove me wrong. I don't see it, guys. I don't see it. Think about what I just said. He's going to be guarding guys half a foot taller than him, at least, if not 8 to 9 inches taller than him sometimes. The NBA is bigger and badder. And in some ways, it's not the NCAA. He can do whatever he wants on Florida Gators and dunk on people's heads. In the NBA, you try and do that, it's not as easy. It's not as easy, yeah. Yeah, he's saying, well, I think they're going to wear the black jersey. Tonight, I hope they do. They should wear the City Edition jersey tonight again. It'll look nice. Mischief saying, Raptors looking like OKC Thunder. I'm looking forward to tonight's game. Yeah. Well, the Thunder are a different kind of level than everybody else in this league right now. And kudos to the great Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for setting the tone as the leader, the young leader on that team, and keeping things copacetic and just standard. The man lives his life very standard in the way he carries it, a very routine. And, well, that routine and that standard, it shows up in the consistency in what the Thunder are doing. You know, he's a very good leader for his age and the aptitude in what he's doing. It's beyond his years. Let's just put it that way. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a leader beyond his years, for sure. He's doing a great job with that. Yeah. You're going to buy the City Edition Brandon jersey? That'd be a good jersey to buy. Yeah. Wayne's saying this. Great points on Coach Casey. Detroit's success has the coach's hands all over it. Haven't seen him play yet, thinking they might be our main rival for a while. We'll just have to see. Things are such in flux in the NBA these years because of the parity. You know, teams can rise and fall really quickly. And that's just how it is in the NBA at this point. So we'll just have to see how it is. The snapshot of how it is right now is Detroit and Toronto at the top, but that doesn't necessarily mean that will be this case for the whole entire season. We'll have to see. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Raptor Freak crew. NBA Cup potential. That's right. Today. That's right. Good to see you, Cool Cat. Happy Friday. Superfan Mo saying there's a buzz around the city for the Raptors, not the Leafs. You want another duck, Monique? I love it when she says stuff like this. All right, 132. You know, the Leafs are struggling a bit right now, and they're not as successful as the Raptors right now. So in some ways, we are grabbing that spotlight all of a sudden because of this 10-5 record, and I love it. I love it. You know, and the other great thing is the NBA in general is paying more attention to us stateside too. A lot more people coming up with talking about us. Now, they talked about us on the FanDuel Run It Back podcast with Michelle Beadle and the great six-man Lou Will and Chandler Parsons. Dubious pro at best. I don't know why anybody gives any respect to this guy's opinions because in some ways the guy wasn't a very good player when he played in the league. And how long was he even in the league? Even Chandler Parsons. Come on now. So basically what they said about the Raptors is they like the Raptors. They think the Raptors are very good. Lou Will, amazing things he said about them. But Chandler Parsons said, I'm worried about the Raptors later this season with their bench. I think that their bench isn't good enough, and they're going to get exposed by the end of the year. I'm like, wait a second. Whoa. Pause. I don't think you have watched this. You don't see our bench is full of role players, very useful players. We have a great backup point guard in Jamal Shed. Sandro Mamu is being touted as the most valuable pickup in the summer for any team in free agency this year. And the other thing I would say to Chandler Parsons in his criticism about whether the Raptors have a good bench or not, it's not about whether the bench is good or not. It's about the 5 premier starters on the Raptors team and Darko always having one of the starters out on the court at all times. That's what it is. You need to turn that off, man. What are you doing? This guy's coming in, busting up my show, like in the middle of it. Like, what are you doing, man? So it's like, Chandler, we don't have to have necessarily the best bench in the world if we're always going to have either Scotty, RJ, or Brandon on the court, because they will build the bolster of the talent on the court. All 48 minutes will be high quality for the Raptors no matter what. So that's my little retort to Chandler Parsons' criticism on the FanDuel Run It Back podcast in the last day or so, saying that he's worried about the Raptors' depth with their bench. Have you seen Jamison Battle shoot? Anyway, I'm going to keep going. Leafs suck. There you go. Wayne's saying this: winning is difficult and rare. The few opportunities that come across have to be taken and not wasted. We are on a winning timeline, and the window is short, 2 to 4 years to maximize our sack. What is that word? I've never seen that word before. All right. I don't know if this is necessarily true. I think that it is true that different timelines are different lengths for different teams as far as where they can be successful. And, the Celtics window for their championship, they just got recently, seemed like it got closed real quick, but it may open back up next year after a down year this year. I don't know. That's the thing. In some ways, it's like, do the Thunder have a very small window of excellence from what they're doing right now? No, they seem like they're set up to have a big, nice, long 6 or 7 year period where they can be at the top of the league. I think that it pertains to each situation specifically. That who knows, if we're doing this right and our core is really young, mirroring like the Thunder, hopefully we can be a longer sustaining team to have a longer window in the playoffs for championships than some of these other teams that kind of come up and gone back down. Part of the problem is that when you get that success like the Thunder had this year, the vultures come and start picking your parts, whether it's assistant coaches, whether it's role players off the bench like Bruce Brown and the Nuggets. People come and pay more money for your players on your championship team, and they leave. And that's hard to keep that standard up. The excellence of the Spurs for decades was able to keep replenishing talent coming up. But the benchmarks of the key pillar players of Duncan, Parker, and Ginobili were there the whole time. And that's a big part of it also. So you need those columns, those pillars for sure. And maybe you have younger talent that recycles through as it gets up and maybe starts hitting higher pay. And then it got to go somewhere else. But you keep those standard guys like your Duncan, your Ginobili, and your Parker. That's your winning success to like a decade of good, successful championships and playoff appearances like the Spurs did. And it's really the situation and how well you build the foundation to be sustainable, to not get torn apart. And in some ways, the Raptors have such a glut of good young players right now. I'd say we're building more like the Thunder than some of those flash in the pan championship teams that come through recently. Like the Bucks are a good example of this. The Bucks got their championship with Giannis, but had they really been developing good young talent around them? Otherwise, no, because none of their players stick around. And they've been kind of coasting on Giannis's supreme talent to get to their levels. And that's why they're in trouble now, is because there's no sustainability and not building guys around Giannis constantly. Because you're not developing any young players around him, you're fucked. And that won't give you a bigger championship window like the Thunder are getting with their team. And I'm hoping we're more like the Thunder than the Bucks. Let's just say that. Fiercely saying that I honestly thought the Pistons would struggle without Schroeder, Hardaway, and Beasley. I'm pleasantly surprised, but ultimately they're our rivals. They're lucky in some ways. I think that it is going to catch up to them by the end of the year, and maybe even in the playoffs, their lack of these veterans that they lost. They're doing fine without them right now, without Hardaway Jr. and Schroeder and Beasley. But it may catch up with them at some point. We'll just have to see. Tobias Harris is the unk. Maybe he's sufficing enough. I don't know. We'll just have to see. Things are nice and rosy and clear in Detroit right now. Will they get real far with it the whole season like us? I don't know. Will we? I don't know. It's a lot of season to go still. We'll just have to see what happens with these teams. And hopefully we're going to be up there no matter what. That's what I say. Ahmed is here. Good to see Ahmed back in the chat. It's been a little while, my guy. How you been, man? Hope everyone is doing great. My grandfather came to visit us here, and I've been hanging out with him. Fantasy is going pretty well for me. I'm trying to not forget to set my lineup every day. Yeah, we can go look at that for a sec. Actually, I didn't put a tab up for it. You know what? Yeah, I seen that you're like the third best team in the league right now, Amit. So you've done a good job after a kind of a bad start, but you're doing better, way better in the last couple of weeks. So keep on going and keep checking your team for sure. There's your reminder. Check on your fantasy team, y'all. Smooth saying this: Kings and Clippers are a total mess. Wow. Yeah. And yeah. Clippers always try to shortcut things. And that's why they get what they get. They've never won a championship ever, guys. The Clippers have never, ever won a championship in their entire history. And we can say that. We can say that. That's right. That's right. Amit's saying Raptors are wearing the statement edition jerseys tonight, according to NBA Locker Vision. Okay. Yeah, I always forget you can check that. So that's not the city edition, obviously. Okay. So we'll just have to see what they look like tonight. Maybe they're just wearing the red jerseys. That's right. Let's see. Smooth saying Chris Paul has been a DNP coach's decision for the last 5 games, among other problems on that team. The Kings are the Kings. I feel bad for the Kings because the Kings have a lot of guys I like DeMar and Dennis and Precious. And I feel bad for the Kings right now. I wish they would get it going and be all right. But DeMatteis is hurt. And they sound like they want to trade everybody out of Sacramento right now. The one thing that could happen out of this that would make me very happy is if they flip DeMar to go to the Lakers. I don't like the Lakers. In some ways, I will like the Lakers if you get DeRozan. Because honestly, I know DeMar DeRozan's dream is to play for the Lakers. He's always wanted to play for the Lakers. Sacramento's great. It's his home state, but he wants to play for the Lakers. So if the Lakers make a deal with the Kings and they get DeMar on their team, I'm going to be rooting for the Lakers at that point, guys. It'll be the weirdest thing, but I love DeMar that much. And I really do want to see DeMar get his childhood dream to play for the Lakers and wear that purple and gold. He really wants that. So Kings, if you're going to trade DeMar, trade him to the Lakers and help that man get his childhood dream. Seriously, I don't love the Lakers. I got no love for LeBron, but I have a lot of love for DeMar. And if he goes to their team, I'll have to root for them. That's the crazy thing right there. That's a crazy thing right now. Yeah. Yeah, let's keep going. Info is saying height is not as important as you think it is. Well, I'll agree and disagree with you. I'll agree and disagree with you. In some ways, this NBA, like I said, you have a 6'7" guy looking over a 6-foot guy. He can shoot over them easy. In some ways, that's what Brandon Ingram's doing to people. He's got a little bit more length over his forward counterparts, and that's how he's over killing them. It's just like, whoop, I'm a butt fire. You can't reach me. Like, how the hell you play with Wemby? This is just not true, Infamous. Height does matter in basketball. It always has, and it always will. Muggsy Bogues is an exception. And the reason why Muggsy Bogues was successful was because he was everything else that he had to be in the NBA to do what he did. And I'm just saying, I look at the recipe of players and their builds and their skills and what they do, and I'm just saying it's not mathing up for Elijah to have a path. I'm just telling you guys. I know you. I want y'all to. I love that y'all are standing up for him. And in some ways, this is me showing when I'm not totally glass half full. I'm more glasses half empty, and I'm being pessimistic and cynical. In some ways, I can't be completely just sunshine and positivity for the Raptors in all ways. I have to be fair in certain areas. And this is one of the areas where I'm taking this stand, is that I just really firmly believe this. But like I said, if you can be like Fred and prove me wrong, go ahead. Prove me wrong, Elijah. Prove me wrong. Smooth saying, I do feel for DeMar. Yes, he's making his money, but his legacy, not that great anymore, in my opinion. No, I wouldn't agree with that. Some people are trying to sully him. Let's not even downgrade DeMar's legacy, because in some ways, casuals will look at his legacy and they'll think, oh, he got traded for Kawhi and then the Raptors won. And, some people like to paint DeMar as some sort of loser. Some people like to paint him as like a player that just is like not the kind of player you want to have if you want to win for different reasons. And some of that's fair. But we're Raptors fans, and he's one of our GOATs. We don't want to downplay him. His legacy's fine with us, right? How much do we know in our Raptors fan nation how much people love DeMar? The idiots are the ones who insult him and look down on him for petty things, but not the real ones who understand the sacrifice that DeMar gave us by being traded to get our championship. So the real case for DeMar and his legacy is his career stats. That's it right there. And he's bona fide in that area. That's the area where he gets in the Hall of Fame right there. Because look, once you hit a certain top 25 scores in the all-time history of the NBA, you're a Hall of Famer. It has nothing to do with whether you won championships. It has nothing to do with, different things like that. It has to do with your body of work, as far as he showed up every single game almost for 20 years, and he accumulated this amount of offensive output over those years. That's what they'll look at. That's the only thing they'll look at. And it's the same reason why guys around him on the all-time scoring list are in the Hall of Fame also. Some of those guys don't got championships too. Karl Malone ain't got no championship, but he's near the top of the scorers list. And that's what I'm saying. He will get in just solely for the career accumulation of points that DeMar DeRozan has accumulated, the mountain of points, the amazing, huge amount of scoring and points over a long period of time will make him a Hall of Famer in his legacy. So we don't need to worry about this. Some people question whether he's a Hall of Famer or not. Well, when he hangs it up, he's going to be up on a certain ranking high enough that he has to be a Hall of Famer. I'm just saying, he'll be a Hall of Famer, guys. You'll see it. And that's the only thing that's going to matter in his legacy. Whether he wins a championship or not, that won't matter because individually, his career statistics are top notch. And that's what's going to matter there. That's it. Neil's saying this, Elijah Martin, Mr. AM, can make it. He can make it to the NBA. He can. I won't say he can't. The problem is there may not be an open guard spot, right? We are loaded with guards on the Raptors. Only the point guard and center spots are not deep on the roster. Once again, I'm going to disagree with you. The point guard part of the roster is absolutely deep also. The problem with the Raptors is, the only spot there's a lot of time and place where we need people is that center. Everything, all the other positions are really jammed up. Even power forward is jammed up for the Raptors. I say 1 through 4 is jammed up. And that's this very competitive team to just do anything on this team. You have to, it's an extremely competitive team, the Raptors. And in some ways, Elijah is on the bottom of the hierarchy. And he has to kind of try and come up like Fred did. Fred had a lot less people in his way to come up through where he went through to get the team. In some ways, we needed a backup point guard desperately at the time. We don't right now. And in some ways, that's not what Elijah is anyway. He's a shooting guard with a point guard's body. And that's another problem with why he's not going to make it right there. He's not conditioned to play point guard technically standard-wise. He's definitely a 2. And that's a big problem, guys, is his height. He needed to be a point guard. Yeah. Let's keep going. Trevor's saying this. Mark Cuban said that Kawhi does not deserve a statue. Yeah, big ups to Mark Cuban. I appreciate him for saying this. He was on a podcast recently, and they said, do you give a Kawhi a statue in Toronto? And Mark Cuban straight up said, no, you do not. He left. He chose to leave, and you do not honor him in Toronto by giving him a statue. And I completely agree with Mark Cuban's opinion on that. And I think most Raptor fans agree with me also. Some casuals who are very shallow fans who just kind of see the top of everything and not really the depth of it, they may think Kawhi deserves a statue here, but he doesn't. He doesn't. He made his choice with Dennis, and he left. If he had stayed and maybe played another year or 2 with us, he probably could have gotten a statue, but he left it all on the table, and he took off and made one of the worst decisions in his life, honestly. So you make that bed, you lie in it, Kawhi, and you lie in it with your uncle next to you, and that's creepy and gross. That's like, why is your uncle in bed with you, bro? Why didn't you just do your business on your own as a man? That's what I would say to him right there. Yeah, I agree with Mark Cuban. He's exactly right. And any good, respecting Raptors fan will say the same damn thing. The Kawhi Leonard does not deserve a statue in Toronto. That's right. Fishy saying Chris Paul played yesterday, but practically garbage time. Harden dropped 31 points. But he's the only one playing at a high level. I guess that's why Ty Lue gave Chris Paul some minutes. Chris Paul's very much near the end of his career. In some ways, it's sad. He's had a very long, good career, and he's a shell of himself at this point. And it is what it is. So what? It's just how it is. The Clippers definitely are an old age home in the NBA right now. And it's just what it is. You call them Olden State and old ass Clippers. That's what it is right now. We got going on over there in California. All right, let me start checking on my tabs real quick, and we'll get out of here. I think I've got most of them done. I did wrap up of the game last night. Let's see. Raptors Reddit reactions. Yeah, they're going to say this is going to be a tough one to watch tonight because of the court. I like the court. The court is red. It has the in-season tournament trophy in the middle, and it has We the North on it. It's going to be very bright red, but I'm going to enjoy it. I think it's going to look really cool. I'm going to enjoy it myself. Let's see. Yeah, I'm done with this. There's nothing else here that I want to read from there. We have birthdays today. First of all, happy birthday to assistant coach Mike Batiste. That's right. It's Bulldozer Batiste's birthday today, guys. Assistant coach for the Raptors. He is going to be 48 today, guys. So 48 years old. Happy birthday, Coach Batiste. Of course, he's a legend in Greece, one of the greatest players in the history of the Greek league. I mean, let me read some of the highlights of Bulldozer real quick. He's a 3-time EuroLeague champion, guys. He's an all EuroLeague first team. He's a EuroLeague 25th anniversary team. He's a 101 greats of European basketball. He's Greek League Hall of Fame. He's a 9-time Greek League champion, including he won from 2000 to 2011, guys. He won the championship 7 years in a row, guys. He's a 7-time Greek Cup winner. He's a Greek League MVP. He's a 2-time Greek League Finals MVP. He's an all Greek League team 5 times, and he's a 6-time Greek All-Star. He's a Turkish Cup winner, and he's first team Pac-10, also in 1999. The man is a legend in Greece. Happy 48th birthday, Coach Batiste. Yeah, also happy birthday to John Lucas III, the son of John Lucas, the coach. He played for the Raptors. John Lucas III. For 1 year, he was on our team. He played 63 games, and he averaged 5 points a game. So happy birthday to former Raptor, John Lucas III. I believe he's 40. What is he turning today? He's turning 43. So happy 43rd birthday to John Lucas III. There's our 2 birthdays for today. Let's get to the classic card. That's right. All right, let's see. Yeah, that's crazy. Mike Batiste, man. Happy birthday, man. Yeah, he's a legend. Giannis Sky will tell you all about what a legend he is. All right, we got the card. It's goofy, man. It's goofy. Here you go. Classic card of the day. It's a criminal. He's not a criminal, but he's associated with criminals. Anyway, here we go. You guys can tell who that is, right? It's shiny. I don't want to reflect the light from the thing back. Yeah, there you go. Fiercey knows. It's Michael Porter Jr. once again on the classic card of the day. I feel like we just had him as a classic card like in the last 2 weeks or something like that. I feel like we did. I should go look and see. We had him on the 5th of November. So he was the classic card already this month. Interesting. It's good that I keep all this track. That's David made the spreadsheet. He was like, man, we're going to make a spreadsheet with all the classic card results. And I'm like, really? That's a lot, man. But the spreadsheet's still going. Fiercey, you get it's just a 50-point card. That's not really worth a whole lot, that one right there. Yeah, 50-point card. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Infant saying, I'll explain the height on the next call-in. Okay. Are you saying that, like, is it because of size, like holding space, like holding people out with strength, or is it? I mean, I'm curious to understand what it is. I mean, if you wanted to call me right now, you could call me just real fast, but I should just wrap up the show and get off the air. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what it would be the way you say it. I mean, I get it. He can jump really high. But once again, this is vision. This is kind of like you want to see eye to eye with your opponent at the matchups. And also he's susceptible for a defensive liability. That's the other problem. It's just he's susceptible for a defensive liability that you just don't want to have. And if you can have a taller player that can guard that position better, that's what you want. That's why I know in some ways I don't want to be heightist. And some people say, but this is basketball, guys. It's like being heightist in a basketball world is kind of like, 7'5", Wembanyama. Come on now. Seriously. The exceptions are 5'3" Muggsy Bogues. The exceptions are Anthony Webb, 5'7". These are exceptions of Fred VanVleet, 5'10". Exceptions to the rule. Very rare. Very rare. That's part of it too. All right, let me do the rundown, getting out of here. The injury list for the Raptors for tonight. Colin Murray-Boyles is out still. His MCL strain is going to put him out once more tonight. So he will not be available for the Raptors. He's the only one who is listed as not being available tonight. Let me just see if the 905ers are listed as coming to the team tonight or not. I want to just see if Blake Murphy said anything about this. Let's see. I don't know. He hasn't said anything about it. There's no official word on Mobo and the two ways. They probably will be with the Raptors. I think Mobo will be the Raptors today. But maybe not the other two guys. And maybe Mobo won't play for sure because he's played 2 days in a row already. It would be a third day in a row if he played for the Raptors tonight. Who knows? Maybe the 905 guys are just separated and they won't be around. We'll just have to see. On the other side of things, the injuries are not good for the Wizards. It's their centers, guys. Alex Sarr is questionable tonight due to his toe. And Marvin Bagley III, the backup center, is doubtful because of a right hip contusion. So both of them are day-to-day. They could both play, but it's looking like the two injuries that they have right now are their centers. And we have Jakob. So we should be eating them up. Yeah, we should be eating up. The referees all favor the Raptors tonight. The crew tonight will be crew chief Mark Davis. Andy Nagy is the referee. And Matt Callio, the Edmonton ref, will be the third ref tonight in Toronto. All three of the refs favor the Raptors in the ref report. All right, let's get out of here, y'all. Thanks for watching the Raptor Freak stream today. 2.5 hours of fun and preview of the Washington Wizards. Guys, we're 14-1 in the month of November. Tonight, the Raptors could clinch being at the in-season tournament in Vegas tonight. So much is going good in our world today for Raptors fans with a 6-0 Raptors 905 and a 10-5 Raptors team. So just enjoy it. Seriously, like Vince said last year, is jersey retirement. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Stop being miserable. Stop coming up with trades for LaMelo Ball and John Morant. And just enjoy it. Have fun watching the Raptors and the beautiful game that Darko has set up with his system of passing and the beautiful unselfishness of our team. When I go and look at the ESPN schedule with all the leaders and points and rebounds and assists in that column, their names are jumbled up and changing all the time with the Raptors main team. All different names every night. One night, Ingram, leading scorer. One night, Barrett, leading scorer. One night, Quickly. One night, Barnes. And then even on the assists, it's not just Quickly every night with the main assist guys. One night it's Barnes, leading assist getter. One night it's Barrett, leading assist getter. One night it's Shed. One night it's Quickly. So the diversity of skills and different guys coming up and doing different things, it bodes real well that we're not overly dependent on any singular one of our Raptors. And that if we are missing players, God forbid, at some time this season, we'll be able to weather that a lot better than most teams, especially teams that rely on somebody like the Bucks rely on Giannis. Yeah. All right, y'all. I hope y'all have a great Friday. TGIF, get out there, touch grass, Raptorize your day like Nabatia would, and have fun at the game, Monique. And let's go, Raptors. Get that win tonight, 6th game in a row. And also, let's keep winning in November. It feels good. I want to get my dip and get some chips with my dip, Drake. All right, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Here's some nature on my way out, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow, guys. And with reaction on Saturday morning.